right, guys, welcome back to the Imaxit football channel. I'm your host JD. If you're new, please do smash that like button, share, and definitely subscribe. And if you have already subscribed, keep on doing that great work by sharing the contents far and wide. We really and truly appreciate it. So, anyways, as you can see by the title, we had set it yesterday, but thanks to Simon giving us the 30 plus personnel squad, and that has been listed by Hallgrimsson. We're going to discuss that, but we're going to start with the under 17 first, where to watch, and what Mr. Merron talked about yesterday. You know our thing already, so don't worry yourself. It's going to be a spicy one just the same. Leave your thoughts in the comment section if you have missed the video and you're rewatching it on any one of the subject matters. And if we found one of the subject areas much more informative than most, we will kind of cut it out of the stream and put it separate. All right. Yes. So we have Big Dylan, massive respect, Big Dylan. Thanks for being here, Bossy. Hope all is well with you and the family. Then we have Ashan Base. Big up yourself, my brother. Thanks for being here from Suriname. All right. All right. Then we have Property for Sale. Massive respect, Big Boss. Then we have Jason Guna. Imaxit. Oh God. All right. Big up, Kevin. Thanks very much for being here. So let we get straight into it now. All right. So we're gonna put up a additional people right here now with what Merron had to say. Yes, because that's how we have to work it. We're gonna just go with what he had to say and start our show from there. You know our thing already. All right. So anyways, this is what's at hand. We have the U17 coming up. Jamaica should be playing their first match on February the 12th at 8 p.m. my time. So that should be 2 o'clock your time if you're in Jamaica. And Jamaica will be taking on Cuba. That's their first match. Then 2 days later, they're going to be facing Guadeloupe the same time, 2 p.m. Jamaica time. And then their final game should be against Costa Rica. So that's what's up. And once you qualify, once you make it out to at least to the final sets of rounds, you should be okay to qualify for the World Cup. All right, the under 17 Youth World Cup would be a very good thing if Jamaica can manage to qualify yet again. It can showcase that what the coaching plans that they do have is working, and the talent pool that they do have is working. So that's where we're going to start it off, because this will be a much more nicer stream, because it's all positive news. Obviously, we can always have difference in opinion that might sway a little bit more negative than the normal, but I think it's going to be more positive. So anyways, this is what Mr. Merron had to say. So they said the Garden U17 squad packed with quality players. So that simply means I love that first statement, because if he's saying it's packed with quality players, he's not shying away from his responsibilities and maybe the expectations. So we're going to find out the expectations that he do have at hand. All right, National Under 17 coach Merron is optimistic that the young Reggae Boyz can claim a top 4 spot at the CONCACAF qualifiers in Guatemala from February 6th, 11th to 26th, and booked a place to the 2023 Under 17 World Cup in Peru. All right, let me know if you saw the list of players and you think it's good enough. Obviously, it's not out there fully as yet, so I can't even give you the take of all the players. I know a few of them that made the squad just to train, and I know that they are good players. So I'm looking forward to hear a little bit more and see a few more players. Garden said the squad is packed with talented players, and although he believes they could do with a few friendly internationals before the tournament, they have to make do with the resources available to them at this time. All right, so that is decent. That is decent. Not shying away. And that's why I talked highly of this guy, because it looks like he's straightforward, and and that's one of the accountabilities, always a thing that you have to respect in these guys. All right, yes, we think we can really qualify with this team. It is a talented bunch of boys, though we are lacking a bit of resources here and there. We always have been that problematic in the resources area. But we are Jamaicans, and we are going to turn our hands and make fashion, he told an online press conference there, all right? And then he continues to explain a few more things. The demands of the CONCACAF region are physical mixed with technical ability. We have some big boys. Jesus God, I know the fans will start to talk about big, fast, and strong. The average height of the team is approximately 5 feet 10 inches, and they are big boys who can play, he said. Ah, boy, Mr. Merron. You could have left it at the next side, but you never had to go into the big boys category. All right. He pointed out that having the director of football, Wendell Downswell, who has been around Jamaica youth teams that have qualified for international tournaments as part of the coaching staff, has been a huge boost. All right. So let me know what you took from what Mr. Merron Garden says. All right. I know the first point will stand out from you for you is to say that he said the big, fast, and strong statement. All right. It looks like once you talk about Jamaica, we seems to always believe that the big, faster, and stronger. Even though I like Merron Garden's conversations, and it looks like he's a real legitimate good coach, and he can develop talent in the proper way. The big, fast, and strong statement might not just see eye to eye with a lot of persons. But let me continue. Let me continue. All right. Yes. So this is just the first part, guys. Smash the like button as you come in. Get us up to 100 likes very fast, and let me just keep on moving. Brian Mighty, we might need you for we to go through some of the players on the list. So if you want to pass through, no problem. We will try and get the leader to come in and give his take as well. Ted Exter, massive respect. Thanks for being here. Omar Fallin said, big up JD, stats wisse. All right, big up. All right, so big up, big bossy. Owen said, bless up father, fatter. Okay, I'm not fatter. Best as documentary. Oh, you're doing, man. Massive respect, man. Did the Rangers youth find his dad's paper? I don't know. Merron is a puppet, just like. All right, let me clear up that now. All right, so guys, what they have done, they gave the entire system to Mr. Hallgrimsson. Right, Hallgrimsson has Merron Garden and John Wall as his second coaches. Right. So it looks like John Wall is destined to coach the under-20s team, and Merron Garden went down to the under-17s. Exactly what I've said to you. That's why you guys should respect me when I come here and talking. I don't know these guys' business. It's just the obvious. He literally said it yesterday in the conference. Said that yes, it's because of the it's a train. So obviously he's down there at under-17, bringing down the information from Hallgrimsson direct, John Wall at under-20s, and then they are meet up in the national team, and that's how you build a cohesive unit or a cohesive system, because people will change here and there, but the system won't change. All right, so you should have respect me, because that is exactly what he said, word for word. And I was surprised. I'm saying, damn, these people will start to believe that I am an agent or something, because I said the same thing what the guy said. It was obvious still, so it only goes to show that they are doing the right thing, because it was an obvious guess and it was correct at the end of the day. Demo saying whisper, but we are not going to stuck on one player. We know our thing. We are vast with our information. It's going to always spread around. Not going to center around no one player. Yes. Checking in. Big up yourself, Arco. Massive respect. Owen seems like J.A. father. Mad vibes, big yourself. Thanks for being here. Massive respect. Big, fast, and strong. Yes, man. Brainless, big, fast, and strong. All right. Okay. All right, no problem, because I was trying to get to it, but maybe you know about this team as well, so no problem. All right, so that's a link. Cataract said he would join. A leader wanted to join as well, so that's the link. So for person that wanted to join. All right, yes. So let me move on to the next list, guys. The next list of players. Just to start that conversation. And thanks to Simon yet again. And let me explain this, guys. This is just a training list, so it's nothing to get over the top excited for, and just licking your chops too much. All right, it's nothing to get over the top for. It's just a training list, just as what the coach said. He's going to try and start finding personnels, like he wants to see what's up with the quality of the players. Them, that's it. We're going to go through the list and we're going to have the conversation. All right, so this is not anything to say anybody get any in the national team or anything. They're trying to make structured setup so they make sure they develop everything in the country. That's what they came here for. So they never expected nothing different. So some of these players and this are just individuals that they have popularity. Some of the players them playing, and some came in because they are around the system. So three different ways. Oh, I thought that some of them get in this list because some. I don't think the coach had enough time to pick all of these players because I know he never went to all of those games. But as you know, people tend to inform him and try to help him out. That's why he has a team, and that's why he comes back to the team thing. That's why I thought that Merron Garden would be a good personnel to put on the list. To be honest, all right. That's why I think so. You get me? Yes. All right. Yeah, man. I've dropped the link. It's not a problem. Big up yourself, Jairus. Massive respect. Wall will be in charge of it. Okay, yes. But I said that from a long time, not knowing anything, because I just talk about their setup, and I just believe that the setup that they have, that's the only thing that made sense. Because JFF never wanted to spend much more money. You get me? So that was the only thing that made sense right there. All right. So let me go. All right, let me hear what people saying here. Happy to see Whisper in, but in my opinion, Blake should have gotten called as well. But the problem is, let me just talk about what it is, no, because that's a problem, That's why I had asked Simon from day one, because people might get this construed to think that it's a national team that anybody truly get called up. When you get called up, you're playing international games. This is a looking list for people to look on the players. So let me clear it very much up for you. It's a looking list, so it's nothing of anybody get called up to the national team. They're not playing any games or nothing that registered to tie you down to the country. That's the only way you get called up for a national team. This is just, for instance, like when you had Wilfred Schaefer saying that the only way Jamaica go forward in after this is to make sure you have a all year round camp system set up in Jamaica. Just to see talents so you can feed them your system so you can match with the English players and the American players coming in, the diaspora and coming in. So this is what he's trying to start from the start. So make it very clear, all right? So I don't want people to get this misconstrued to say that people make the national team and those stuff. I know people go over the top every single time, but this is not the over the top channel. This is just the straight up channel. You get me? And Simon, kudos to Simon. Simon broke it down very clear. That is not a national team call up. It's just like the national coach trying to set a plan in motion to see other personnels. So if you're good enough, then you can make the national team. Very, very clear. Hope you understand that, guys. It's not hard. It's very, very clear. So I know you will hear propagandists go around and say all sort of story, but this is what it is. All right. So and the reason why we always try to make sure we get it correct is to say that when we go forward, we don't want to blame anybody. Because before we might went off on the wrong foot to start blame JFF for things that maybe they never needed to be blamed for. All right. Yes. So we made sure to say that. All right. So after saying that, now the list that they have of a 2-day training, according to what Simon said, 2 days it's going to be. Just to look at these players, maybe they are going to have other programs coming up, and we will keep you informed once the information presents itself. All right. So Kemar Foster from Waterhouse, you guys got to see him on this channel because I covered him in the CCCC and the Concacaf as well. Ramon Owell, you guys saw him as well because he made a plethora of teams. Ricardo Thomas, the same. Dumble Olin, Peter McGregor, we talked about him when he scored a lot of goals the last time, so you finally got a look in in for the coach to see how good he is. Trevante Stewart, Mount Pleasant, so he's one that I will be looking at. Kimani Campbell, Mount Pleasant as well. Demario Phillips, Mount Pleasant. Devante Campbell, which you guys know him already. Jamai Topi, you guys know him. All right. Tafari Chambers, I will be looking on that one. Shaquille Dyer, Sule Makala, Alwayne Harvey. You heard about him as well. O'Dane Murray, Eric Edwards, Kimani Alburn. And then over the next side, you have Earl Simpson, which people highly rate this personnel. All right. Ajuma Johnson, Arnett Gardens, Richard King, which you know Richard King already. Dwayne Atkinson, long time people wanted him to make the national team. So look out for him. Colin Anderson, Kyle.
Yeah, hear me? Just a check.
Yes, where are you now? Where are you now?
So where are they? Go through the list and then me talk, or be thinking I go treat one. But all right.
Okay, no man, we're going to go treat one. I'm just naming it out for the personnel. Jedine White, Gawain Austin, O'Shane Staple, Colorado Murray, Joshan Anglin, Nicholas Hamilton, Okima Jones, Malachi Douglas, Dujuan Richards, Jason Wright. So that's the list, guys. We are going to start going through it because, as you know, Mr. Mighty, you need to tell the people who you are so they can, you know, because when you say some things, people want to know who you are, you know, because the other day you told them that you work with the in the JPL, so you can give much more of a hands-on information, you know.
The people them know, man. I'm a manager for a team in the JPL.
Okay. All right, great. So you want me to go through the players 1-1 to see if it fits, and then at the end we're going to talk about the players them that might not have made it and who you would like to see get that nod, because I had players on my list that sure got that nod, you know. All right, so Kemar Foster. For me, I think Kemar Foster deserves his place. Sometimes he can be a little bit dodgy with some ball, like some of the easier saves them. Sometimes he will spill it because I saw it on the biggest stage. But believe me, he saves Waterhouse a load of times. You get me? So I would still consider him as one of the better keepers that I would keep in the team, based off what I saw. What you say on Kemar Foster?
Yeah, man, same opinion. A lot of these players were also a part of the Cameroon squad, you know. So
yes.
Actually, you would want to look back at them again and probably see how them progress and stuff. But yeah,
yes,
man,
agreed. All right. And then now we have Ramon Owell gets recalled because they're always there. So Ramon Owell, you saw him playing. You think that he deserved to get a next look in?
Yeah, man, definitely.
All right.
He's been one of the better CDMs in the Premier League.
Okay, all right. And we having so much CDM issues in football, period, are just as a man that can put in tackles in the national team. You see him as one of the individuals that can step up to the plate, because that is something important, you know, for me, you know, at least for me still, and others in the chat. I think.
If I see him, well, I think the truth is him deserve an opportunity. I guess only after giving him a fair opportunity, then you will be able to decide. I know he went the college route overseas and he was playing in the USL and then the USL League One for a while. So maybe he's looking to get back overseas, but I think he deserves an opportunity.
Okay. All right, so you're okay with that one.
So if you're going to invoke a local squad, then he would definitely get an invite.
All right, good. So Peter McGregor, and this is what I don't like about Jamaican people, you know. We have to call it out here. This is the only part of the video that might be going against most of the Jamaican viewers for the JPL. Last season, this man was the man that everyone begged to go into the national team. And then you have Maninko players scoring goals, and then people saying that Maninko players better than him. We're gonna get to that, you know. But we can always switch. So when I thought he has experience. Okay, so because he's injured,
I haven't seen him play for Dumbe.
Yeah, but he was doing good from before, right? But he was doing good from before, Brian. So why is it with us?
Yes, there's no concern there.
Okay. Because people drop their stat and saying that, because he was the one that I was trying to remember. Because I said people were saying at one point he was the best in the country as a striker, and then all of a sudden they dropped him and then start talking about the Maninka players are the best strikers in the land. So I'm saying, why are we just switching off this player and we don't give him a true chance? And he got opportunities overseas as well, so he has that extra experience as well. Why we jump off at him and he's a young player, but you said he's injured, so maybe that's why. Okay, fair enough. But you don't have any problem with him, because I have no problem with him being in the team.
No problem.
I have no problem with him being in the team either, because I thought that he did well and he looks like a solid player that reads the game good enough. I think he might impress the coach. Trevante Stewart, don't know much about him. He's one that I'm going to be watching. I'm going to write down the name.
He's a giant leading goal scorer in the JPL now.
Trevante, all right. Yeah, so
9 goals from 10 games.
Oh, so we don't have to question if he deserved to get called up. 1,000%. All right.
He was a part of the Cameroon squad as well.
Okay, all right. Yeah, but I never really deep dive on their names, like maybe him. The others I spend time on, because I always try to know them and do research on them. So Kimani Campbell, he's one that I know. I think he deserves to get his spot.
Yeah, man, definitely. I think
you think he's more attacking centrically a bit more, or you don't see that about his game?
I think attacking wise he's good. I think maybe he needs to do some more work in terms of on his defending. I mean, he's an okay defender, but
yeah,
I think he needs to do a little bit more there to get the balance. But he's a good player and he's young. I think he's about 21.
20 he's 21 or 22? Which one?
I think he's about 21 or 22.
Okay, yeah, but I like the way he goes forward, but defensive, I think he looks, I'm not want to go into, but we have to tell you, we have to be honest here. I think he has what he said. That's what I thought about him at first. So I guess Brian Mighty, then they don't have to sign me for the JPL soon, then, man. So how am I knowing all of this about the players? Man, when they say me don't watch JPL. You see it? Surprised, Yes, man. Damario Phillips, Mount Pleasant. What you say about him now?
Yeah, man, he deserves the opportunity. He was the thing is, you see, so a lot of persons now might say a lot of Mount Pleasant name here.
Yes.
Yeah, but the truth is, some of these players were being invited before they transferred. So like Phillips was at Dumby Hole, he was invited from then. So it's just a matter of him switching clubs now. Why you probably see so much more peasant there. But
yeah, we're gonna get to that, man. I from the man them don't see one letter, because it looks like I does one letter give them PTSD, It's not the Mount Pleasant. I'm kind of sure of that.
They letter over the next side.
Yes, they letter over the next side. So we're gonna get to that. Devante Campbell. A man that gets so much disrespect, he made the under 20 squad the last time, right? And he did a good job. And it seems like people overlook these guys, and a lot of players between the 19 and the 23. Jamaicans keep on overlooking just to go work for the newer ones. I think that is a disservice we are doing to those guys, to be honest, because I think these guys are still better than most of the younger kids that we are raving about. I still believe that you have some of them.
Devante Campbell is 19.
Yes, I know. That's why I said from 19 to 22. Why are we throwing them away to go for the 17 and the 16-year-olds them now to say they are better? And I don't necessarily think so, to be honest. That's what I'm saying. So I agree with you. So Devante Campbell, they think that this is a good chance for him. He deserves this one, right? All right. Guys, we are coming to the chat here. Don't worry, we're just trying to make sure we go through it with a professional, But it looks like I'm a professional as well. I know a lot about these players. Jamai Topi now. Yes, we have to have a strong conversation about Mr. Topi, man. He has the size. He can make the tackle from time to time, but I just believe that his lapse in concentration is too frequent. That's the right way to put it. You saw him.
Personally, yeah, I think not disappointment, but I think the only issue I would have with Topi is I don't think he has progressed as much as I would thought he would have, since because he played for the senior team at a very young age, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
he's been playing in the Premier League for about 4 or 5 seasons now.
Yes, yes.
I don't think he has progressed in the way in which I thought he would. But I mean, if you're looking at centre back options in the Premier League for an invite, he would definitely get an invite. So there's no question.
Okay. Oh, so he deserved the invite, but you want to see more from him based on his potential or what we had perceived him to be at the start, because he was always a higher ranked player than even King, you know. So
Yeah,
the fact
yeah.
that
I'm saying
to
I
that level,
thought he would have been able to, because he went overseas for a stint in the USL, I
yeah.
think, 2 seasons. So I thought he would have, progressed a lot faster.
Big up Marlon, man. We have a link there if you want to come on, Marlon, no problem. All right. So, Tafari Chambers, Mount Pleasant. Don't know much about him. Maybe
He's
I
a
need to.
goalkeeper.
Tafari Chambers. All right.
Yeah, he's a goalkeeper. Tafari
All
Chambers.
right. Goalkeeper. All right. That's
Yeah.
good. All right. Then you have Shaquille Dyer, Mount Pleasant.
He's a player that just transferred from Dunby into one of the better
Okay.
centre backs in the league as well.
Okay. All right. So we
Performance and stuff.
possible could see him in the national team, or you don't think he can make a step up as yet to go with the big boys, them like the Pinnock and the Damian Lowe's. You don't think he can offset none of
Um,
that?
no, I don't see him. I don't see him offsetting, but he's 27 to so
Uh, and
the
he
time
needs to
will have
offset.
to be no. The time will have to be no, yeah. But
Yes, he needs. Okay, okay. All right, that's Shaquille Dyer. All right, so Sulan Makala, Mount Pleasant as well. Damn.
so his name is, I think, Sule Makala.
Sule Makala. Yes, yes, correct.
Yeah. He's he's what you would call a Premier League veteran. He's been playing the Premier League for a very long time. He used to live at Portmore United. I
Mm-hmm.
think he also won the Premier League with them as well, a couple of times. Um, he's been one of the most consistent players, even at Mount Pleasant as well. I'm a bit surprised that he hadn't gotten a call up before this. I think the only issue with him now might be his age, because he's 30.
Yes,
So
and we have to ask a question on that as well. We have to ask a question on that as well.
but on merit, I think I even before this, I
Mm-hmm.
thought he deserved a call from other teams that are being called up. I'm not sure why he wasn't though.
All
I
right,
guess
no,
it's
no
because of
problem.
the coaching staff and
But,
stuff.
but if you look at that, then so if they're calling 30 years old now at this point, so that simply means they're not going with an age range all the time. If you have the right experience that they think you can contribute towards something, they are going to select you. Then basically, then.
It would appear that way.
Okay. All right. So we have Alwyn Harvey. Yes, I heard that name before.
Yeah, he's been in the setup before too. I think he played on the Cameroon trip as well.
All right. O'Dane Murray, Mount Pleasant. That's the final one. Finally. Murray.
He just transferred to Mount Pleasant. He was the captain of Humberland last season.
Yes.
He missed the under 20 by a few months.
Oh, all right.
So
All right.
yeah,
So
yeah, and
so he
last
deserves
season,
this place, and he's
yeah,
one of
man,
the ones that we can look out for to make
yeah,
the
man.
national team. Okay. All right. That's
As,
nice.
as, a, as,
Murray.
as a right back, he's a quality right back.
Yeah, man. And we're short in that position. So Murray is one that we have to look out for. O'Dane Murray. We have Eric Edwards, Arnett Gardens.
Yeah, he's a goalkeeper. He was with the Cameroon squad as well.
Yes, so he's okay. Kimani Arbon, Arnett Gardens, as well.
Yeah,
Deserve his.
he's been having a good season, and he had a good season towards the end last year as well.
Okay. Earl Simpson, I think he should be on the list because from last season, they said he's one of the top players them. But you saw it the same because people thought that he was the best centre back type player.
Yeah, they should say that he played with Richard King together in high school.
Okay.
And at that time, he was considered the better centre back. But I mean, given the fact that he was in the program before, it wouldn't be unreasonable to think that he would get an invite on a training camp. I think he's coming back from an injury as well, so
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why he hasn't played a lot this season. I saw him play one game, which was the game on the weekend. He actually scored in that game. but then he
Yeah.
was substituted. So I'm not sure if it's the
If
injury
it's
or
injury
something.
or something. Okay,
Yeah, I'm not
okay.
sure. I'm not sure.
Ajuma Johnson Arnett Gardens. So that's 4 Arnett Gardens players.
Yeah, he deserves an invite. He's been one of their best attacking players this season in terms of being an attacking midfielder. So yeah, he
All
deserves an
right.
invite.
Richard King. So
Yeah,
now we have the Cavaliers boys them. And remember, guys, Cavaliers up there in the actual league now. All
yeah,
right. So we
Cavaliers in the Premier League.
no, as I said, they're up there. We know they're at the top. So so people can't say they don't deserve to be in the damn list. All right. So Richard King, no, Richard King. We heard so much of Richard King. We expected him. I thought that he at one point he was a little bit too they're trying to push him, because sometimes what I've realized with most of the Jamaican persons in them, at least on YouTube, because I think the attitude in the games are a little bit different. They were pushing him to this level to say that he can play in this and that, and I did not saw it instant. I saw he has the qualities to be honest to do something else, but I was never sure if he could have just jumped to the MLS and play good enough. And then after I saw him in the CCCC, and then believe me, he got caught out a few times. Well, but we have to be honest, his entire team got caught out. So it's not like him just get exposed by one, right? But the entire team got pushed out of position and he got caught out a lot of times. And we realized that maybe he's not there as yet, or you're not seeing it the same way. You think he's already there, or you think he needs some work?
I mean, with our local players, they the main reason why they are here and not overseas is because they are not at that level as yet. That's just the truth. But he has potential, and he seems like a coachable player based on I've seen him a few times and stuff, especially at the games and stuff. He seems like a player too who is willing to listen and learn, and he's
All
quite
right, nice,
humble.
nice.
So I mean, nobody can really argue with him being selected.
No, man. We expect him to be selected, but we want to be sure of the persons that will come through the national team and might get a contract. Because we're trying to look to see how the local side will help themselves for the next 4 years going forward. So we want to see the key gems them coming through. That's what I'm trying to figure out. And I think Richard King was always one of those key gems names. So that's why I ask about him. So Dujuan Atkinson, one of the he was the whisper before whisper, to be honest. Like at a higher level though, like in the JPL, he was the one that I heard Simon said he can literally make he will go far. I saw him played in the same CCCC, but I saw him play in the JPL, and he looks like an engine. He looks like a player that is if you have a good pressing system and you can get his mentals right, he can put a good performance in and improve over time. I actually like his play. I can
Man,
say yeah, I respect him play. I respect him
yeah,
play.
he's a quality player, and I think for the longest time too, he's one of those. In recent times, I should say, he's one of those players that would have done very well at the schoolboy level and came into the Premier League and just looked like he deserves to be there. Um,
Yeah.
what I like most about him too is he's a very good attacking player, but
Yes, man.
he works really hard to help his team to defend.
That's what I said. He's tracking
And
back, and his energy
yeah, you
is
don't normally see that.
ridiculous. Yes, man. When I saw him, man, he looks like what I expected Jamaican players to be when we talked about the big, fast, and strong. He's not the biggest person, but he looks like he has the speed. He has good, not speed, because I don't think he's the fastest player. But he moves good, and his energetic level is up there. So he would have been one of the players that I would expect to say that yes, you have something about you that defines Jamaica. Then, like what we always said, this is what Jamaica represents as a footballer. I think he matches some of those. So this kid Atkinson, let we watch him and see if he can improve under Hallgrimsson. And I would not be surprised if he's the one that gets the most improvements going forward and actually break through to the national team. I am not going to go against him. I saw him playing good games, higher level games than others, and he was one of the standouts in higher level games than others. So I want to say, yeah, we're gonna give Simon his credit. At first, I was questioning if Simon sell me coffee medicine. But we have to we have to admit when he's right. All right. So Simon, big up again. You got one right. Colin Anderson, Cavaliers.
Yeah, he's a giant leading goal scorer as well. 9
Okay.
goals, 10 games.
Okay. So he's the one that Sean B is talking about.
In
So
fact, he has scored 6 of Cavalier last 7 goals.
okay, all right. So Colin, you're getting famous because they're watching in Suriname. So you might get a transfer soon. Sean B is watching him every day, you know. All right. So Kyle Ming now. Kyle Ming. This player now, Kyle Ming. I
Um,
want your take on him
so,
first before I go.
yeah, so I think he's a captain of Cavalier. Yes, he is. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised that he has never gotten a call up
Ooh,
because
okay.
he's a very, very good player. Um, Plays right back or center back, but he's really outside of King. Probably he's outside of King. I think he would be the best defender at Cavalier. And sometimes it's even close between him and King. I'm really surprised that he has never gotten a call up before. He's a really good player.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not going to challenge that one at all. All right. Then, now, one of the controversial names, Jadine White.
Well,
I thought
I think I
Jadine
think they
White. I'm
picked the
sure.
top. They picked the top 3 goalkeepers, top or 4 goalkeepers in the Premier League. It would be difficult to not select him, so he deserves a selection. There are
It
4
would be
goalkeepers in this list.
no, don't. You're not gonna get away with that, you know. It would be hard to not select him. His own team. Is he the first team goalkeeper for his club, or it was a man
He,
from
he's,
outside Jamaica?
he's injured now.
Okay,
He has Cavalier has played 10 games. He has played 8 of them.
okay. So
He's
you
injured
think he
now.
deserved the call? You think he deserved the call this time?
Yeah.
Okay,
He
all right,
didn't play the
all right.
last game because I think he has an injury. So
Okay,
I don't know if he's gotten over that injury or whatever, but I mean if they invite him to the camp, I'm assuming he's okay. I don't know. But he's played 8 out of 10 games. So and if they are
J-
selecting
JD White played 8 out of 10 games, right?
this season, yes.
Okay, all right then. If he plays 8 out of 10 games, that's what I was trying to get how much games he played this season because I know he's not the first choice keeper.
Yeah,
Because
man.
when
But he didn't play in the last 2 games. But before that, yeah, man, he played 8 out of 10.
so the keeper is back now from injury, right?
The keeper, no, he wasn't injured. I think when the season started, some of the Caribbean players were playing some competition. I don't remember what the name of it, but they were playing. St. Lucia was playing some international thing. I'm
And the
not sure
keeper.
what's the
Oh,
name.
okay,
And
okay,
he and the other player was there, Duxley, I think.
okay. So all right, and so based on that, Jaden White he gets the nod. But I you know me, I do get PTSD when this guy's name call, you know. Because I was watching a few games and yeah, he has some dodgy performances to be honest, you know. But so you Jamaican youth, so let's see if I'm not bossing at you, but yeah, if we have this list, let's see how he works out. I will be keeping a good eye on this brother Jedi White. Gawain and Aston, Portmore United. What?
Um, I
Wow, what?
haven't I haven't watched a lot of Portmore games, but I've seen him play a few times. I wouldn't dispute him being invited.
One second, bossy. Because I will call about. I will call about caller. One second, because I don't know if he's calling in or something. Let me get him. All right, hello, caller. How are you doing? Okay, he hung up. All right, no problem. So Austin is one we have to watch out for, guys. 'Cause we want to fairly judge these guys, you know. We want to fairly judge them. All right. So Austin, we don't know much about him, so we have to wait, you know, and see. So we have him on the paper. O'Shane Staple, Arbor View.
Arguably one of the best right backs in the Premier League.
All right, like that, yeah. He's on my list as well. So staple, we should see him around the national team a little bit more frequent. Colorado Murray,
He's been there before. He went on the Cameroon trip as well.
and he did okay. He was one of the personals that people talked about. So we can keep him there. Joshua Anglin, Harborview.
So Anglin played for Jamaica before, you know.
Yeah.
And then he went overseas to the USL,
Yes.
and there was a little bit of issue there, and he came back home. But since
Okay,
he's been
yeah.
back, he's
So
been.
it's the same Anglin. It's the same Anglin, right?
It's the same Anglin,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So he deserves to be, and he deserves to be on it. And he's a young kid, so I think this is an opportunity for him to get an extra rebound. Nicholas Hamilton, Harborview, the final Harborview player. And then we go down into the controversial one.
He's the leading goal scorer for Harborview. So.
All right, so Hamilton is on it.
He has about 5 goals.
Okima Jones.
Jones is one of the schoolboys. He plays for Clarendon College.
Yes.
He's a decent right back.
Fully deserved to make it, right?
Yeah,
because I think majority of those CC players, if you're going to go into the realm of schoolboy football, you have to pick all of them. And I'm surprised that others on the list. Anyway,
it's the first camp, so maybe they'll have other camps. So.
Yes, because I'm steaming because I don't see some of my players them. Yes, I'm really upset. But maybe that will be stats bias and some other bias. But it's okay. Them fighting my school. Malachi Douglas. I have no problem with Malachi. I think Malachi is truly the best young talent Jamaica have right now. Like that young kid that's playing schoolboy. He's the best schoolboy player, and I don't think it's actually close. He has every single thing to go forward if he just go into the right development right now. Like this month, he just leave and go to that development right now. I think Jamaica could get the player that they're looking for the longest time. I don't know if you rate him that highly, but I said it from.
He's a good kid, man. Works very hard with and without the ball.
And the disrespect in the under-20s when the guy played the first game and he was the only one looking midfield like he's doing something. And then the guy just didn't play. Up to this day, I can't know what really happened with him in the under-20s. But the guy was one of the best players in the Costa Rica game, and then I don't see him. So up to this day, I can't get the answer. What happened to Malachi? Maybe I have to ask him myself to figure out what really took place in under-20s. Why he just never get any more game. But I think he's one of those special talents that maybe through we kind of our lifestyle in our country, it's different. It looks like we don't give centre backs and midfielders. Aside from German U back in the back then, German U was the only midfielder I saw got that extra hype,
Yeah.
As a midfielder, they don't respect what happened to a culture. We're not really loving the football. We're just loving the excitement at the end result. These are very good players, I think Malachi Douglas he's actually the best schoolboy football player. I'm very sorry, guys. Maybe you have your other schoolboy football player, then, but he's the best schoolboy football player right now, and he's gonna prove to you guys that he's up there, man. He's up there. Special. He deserves to get his call. Then we have Dujuan Whisper Richards. What say you now, based on Richards now? I know this is the more controversial name, but I don't see controversial if we are gonna put schoolboys in it.
No, I mean it's not. I think more than controversy is just the what you call it now, the fanatics that comes with who is our stuff. I mean, nobody is questioning whether or not he deserves to be invited to a training camp. I think this is what he and his agents have always been saying that they want. So
no, I don't think. No. Let me correct you. I don't think this is what they want. This is what.
I mean. They have always said they want him to be given an opportunity to be seen.
Yeah, but
when Paula was the coach and they had the camp with the players, he wasn't invited, and they were saying he wasn't given an opportunity to be seen. So,
I think they're making it look like they want him to be in the national team by itself. Like he's better than Andrew.
Well, I mean,
That's what he said.
well, I mean,
So
that's their job. I mean, you can't. They are agents and managers, so I mean, they would set up. But I mean, it's a good opportunity for him to be in the environment and to interact with the senior team coach and the coaching staff. And I mean, possibly the next under 20 should be able to play as well. So the John
yes,
Wall is going to be the under 20 coach, so they'll get to have a look at him from now on. I mean, if he works and deserves an opportunity when another squad is being called, then he should be invited. There's no
all
issue.
right, facts. And what we want people know, and what you make of the coaching side, like how the man them pick the three coaches, assistants aside, and then spread them over the entire channel of the Jamaica Reggae Boyz. You think that's a good one? Because I thought that's the best way to do it, to make sure you have hands-on information, to make sure everybody playing exactly as how you want it. So if you have any baller, they can just transcend it into the national team seemingly. You think that's the best way to go, right?
Yeah, man, that's the best thing because the senior team would be the ultimate goal for all of them. So it will be good for them to know what is required of them when they get to that level. So Boss Thomas, so I don't know when a Phoenix thing in a radar, but I know that I think the all schools team supposed to be leaving today for Florida. I don't know if he's a part of that or if he'll be going. I don't suppose he will be going because usually the all schools team are for persons who want to get a scholarship to go to college because that's where a lot of scholarship persons come. Balaker, which other 20 me I talk about?
Send in questions as well, guys. Oh, he's calling. Big Boss, he's calling in, so he's calling in. And Balaker, you have 5 minutes, boss, because I have to take questions. I want it to organize. So you call in first, give your take on this war, and then call in back after. All right? Yes. That's how it's going to work, yeah?
No war now, go on, man. I call to clarify some things. The same baller there, on our top both and CC. Yeah. When you say like best player in a Jamaica in a the Manning Cup and Dakasa Cup, him up there with Whisper. Believe me.
I put him ahead of Whisper, from before the Manning Cup finish, before Schoolboy football finish, because I was talking about football, and I said, yeah,
man. The other day, all right. You see the youth as a midfielder. Come watch him. I see him for Trevante Merron.
Oh my God, man.
The youth can play. So when me can say Whisper the best striker in the Schoolboy.
Facts. Yes, that is true. That is true.
This youth is a hard-working, creative midfielder where never stop run. And he get a game for Trevante Merron. 2 games now. I think the one in Clarendon Derby, I see him on a TV match pan against Arnett Guard. And when the game start, the youth not stop run.
My God, man. I don't know where them a feed him pan. Where is he from? Which country?
He never played the under 20 team.
Yes, man. So the man play the best game in the under 21st game, and him don't get in the game. So me not understand what happened to him. That's why I said I'm gonna figure out if he was injured in the man under 20s, because that was the only thing that made sense for him not to play, because he was the only one in midfield looked like he was actually tracking down man and doing something on the field.
It looked like they never want to call the youth from JC, that left foot youth. Where him?
Oh, you're talking Douglas?
You know him. No, man.
You had 3 Duncan, Mackenzie and Pearson. You had Pearson, Mackenzie, and him. You have that last time.
One of Pearson could have come out, and
yes,
the
and him
number
stay.
10 to JC could have come out.
Yeah, any one of them could have come out and keep him in there. So I don't know why. We don't know what happened.
Yeah, Mackenzie's overseas now. I think he has a professional contract.
Yes, he's doing good as well, Brian. He's doing definitely good as well too.
Him have a bad under 20. Him and Christopher Pierce have a bad under 20. I mean, a series why you play them too much and then now play good and somebody better they on the bench and afraid to play them because of politics.
Mm-hmm.
That go on, you know. You understand?
But you think
And Brian Mighty.
but Malachi, we ask a question. You think that him did enough? Him showcase what he has to give back to Jamaica in the JPL and also the Manning Cup. Because clearly, if anybody say Whisper is better than him, they are gonna say he's the second best player, or somebody will say him is better than Whisper. It's always be one or two, and then he might do good in the JPL.
Right after so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, me get to know this player, you know, because when time people deserve and credit, then deserve.
Mm-hmm.
When the under 20 thing did go on and Cataract they go up there, the only ball of me Cataract I was talk about this Malachi Douglas. So me I say, all right, more take on to him and see. So they say we schooling go and he says CC. So you know, me start see some Capital Maroon games where military go and always go live and stream so much, and I say definitely the youth that can play.
Yeah.
You see me? So I'm seeing PCC, I'm there on a program already now. I say, yo, you know, so the youth are MVP for Diaspora Cup.
Yeah, man. So we never said long time before we just said long time before even the Diaspora Cup done. When we see him, we just said yeah, continue, finish.
We missed. Yeah, man, we Jamaican miss that present as that midfielder. You know, like them Ramsey kind of midfielder.
Yeah.
Where we run through and score.
Yeah, because look at Richie Royalty in the chat. Bless up Richie. Richie saying attackers always get more preference. I know, but the man scored a whole heap of goals. He assisted a whole heap of goals, Brian. So I don't know. The man more of a deep line midfielder, but yes, still he offers the goal, the security. So that's why everybody are gonna rate him. If you truly watch football, you're gonna rate him over a lot of people because he does everything on a football pitch.
Yeah,
you understand?
Man. As when me say, him definitely up there. You know, me go say, Whisper 1 and him a 2 up there with him.
Okay, yeah, give Whisper the edge over him.
Yeah, me go Whisper go get the edge over him eventually because I assist and the goals they won't score. You understand? But even if MVP in all the schoolboy football, Malachi Douglas is get it because he win the Diaspora Cup, he win the Olivia Shield.
And also midfielders ranked different. The cover spacing, the interception, the blocking lanes, and the progression, they do add to the stats as well. So just like a Whisper can have assist as a forward, if you're blocking lanes and progressing the ball faster than anybody and having the most progression, I think that counts equally as impressive, because that simply means you're stopping teams from coming at you and you're starting back the play. So yeah, I think continue.
The vote are gonna be high, man. The vote are gonna be close if them to vote for the two of them. Like, you understand? The vote are gonna be the two of them do excellent in a schoolboy. You understand? The youth have some good run from midfield. Good baller, man. Brian Mighty, more ask you, what happened to Aldridge? Why making the club again?
Brian Mighty. He's Aldridge.
Yeah, what you mean? Aldridge has played 2 games in the Premier League thus far. Played against Abbeville and against Falkland.
Me just say that ask what happened to him because me know me not seeing him.
Yeah, so Balak, remember saying when schoolboy football done before the players them can be a part of the setup, So yeah, schoolboy football don't know. He started against Abbeville and he came on against Falkland.
Your team play against no your team, sorry, so VR play.
No, we play Abbeville, we play Sunday and draw.
So if fully in a team now, like fully back in a training and thing like that.
What do you mean this man fully? Me tell you the man played the last 2 games. What do you mean that him fully? I not understand the last him fully. What you mean? In the candidate half, brother.
Yeah. All right, let me tell you.
Yeah, but Balaka, you need to finish up a point here, Balaka, because we have Balaka. We want it organized because we want to go to the players then we missed out and who can go in the next one here. So finish up your point, Balaka. We get 2 extra minutes. Big boss.
Yeah, man. I just ask if he's fully back in a training because you see him in the all Manning's game never look that bad, but like from he catch 35 minutes, so he look like him boss. So that's why I'm there ask you.
Well, he play 65 with the All Manning and he play 60 about 70 against Harborview, so I'm good, man.
Number 10 for them, for JC, nobody not have him in a them JPL team. Son.
He's a Harborview player, I don't know, but he's a Harborview player.
Harborview?
Yeah, man, he's a Harborview player. I don't know if he's going to play, but right. That's it. He's a part of.
All right, more forward off a program.
And then forward back on because we have to go through the finish up.
Me not hear you because me not hear you good. So
all right.
But just go in a comment and you can make me know what you say. Just saying 2 players the media ask about Artist and Pelleson and Malachi Douglas.
All right. So respect the great Balakar. All right. So Carlin, guys, send the questions in so we can take the questions. So Malachi Douglas, Dujuan, Richard Whisper, Whisper Richards. Let me know if you guys have any problems with them. At least for this local camp, and make sure to keep it in context. This is just not a cap. Nothing at all more than the coach just trying to look on them to see how he can start his development going forward. Who he can pick now directly or give back some information to go back to wherever they are, because some is at clubs, some is actually at academies, so that's the whole reason. So it's not a cap, so we don't want it to get misconstrued. All right, yes, but if they do continue to progress, you never know where it will go in the end. All right, yes. So nobody have any problem. They say good move, Cataract a baggage. All right, no man, we had said we are going to put the show together, and we said Cataract from yesterday. We knew that Mighty would have passed through because I'm more of a JPL game. So we know that he might have actually passed through, and him actually passed through because we wanted his information and stuff because we know him know a little bit more. So Jason Wright, Mighty, Mullines United. What you can tell me about this player?
So Jason is a former national youth player. He went to that under-17 World Cup, the last one. I don't think he has made the transition to professional football in the smoothest path. He went the college route. He went to the MLS combine, but he had an injury. Since then, he came back. He played for Cavalier, played for Humble Lion. Then he went overseas to Romania. And then he's back now at Mullines. He has scored 3 goals from about 6 games. Mullines would have played 10 games, but he didn't play all of them. He had an injury at the start of his season, which he's recovered from. He was a part of the Phoenix Academy. He went on those Europe trips with them. So he's back now. He's been looking good. Still has some more work to do, to sharpen up his skills and stuff. But yeah, I think the invite is good for him as well. So let's see.
All right, so let me go on the players then. So guys, drop your player in the chat who you think should have actually gotten a call up and they didn't get the call up. You get me? And what does this local core really mean? That's what we want to look at. What does this local core really mean going forward? Because this local core kind of left out a lot of other guys that might be in America playing and those stuff, So are we going to have 3 squads overall, Brian Mighty, to look at then? The original squad that we have, and then now you'd have the other guys, them like the guy that, what's his name again? That we just talked about in under 20s that went overseas. Pearson, you have the Pearsons, you have the Douglases, and all of those guys making a different squad, like Maggie and those guys making a different complete squad? Or you think it's just gonna be just local?
Well, I think it's gonna be difficult for those guys to be called to a squad because they are not in Jamaica. I mean, it's a lot easier now because remember the Premier League plays on the weekend. So it's a lot easier to call them into camp during the week and have some sessions with them and look at them as opposed to calling the players who are overseas.
Okay, so based off that, then we are going to have a set of players that we have to just judge if they are not as good as the next ones, and then you're just not going to either hear from them or see them anymore. Like if Pearson can't make it via his performance, sees directly from his club, the Jamaican people will not see him then because he can't come in.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult because you can't call a player to a training camp who's on a professional contract outside of the FIFA window. I mean, so especially when they are overseas, I'm saying in Jamaica, I mean it's a lot easier because they are domiciled here. So I mean it's a lot easier to transit them and stuff.
But I'm just saying, I'm making sure we pass it because these are questions people naturally ask. So we want to make sure we pass it so people can know that it's not like the coach will fight against any particular sets of people. Because I know that you're going to have a set of youth that will just push to the wayside. The same 22 to 23 years old that we were talking about will be pushed to the wayside due to we have the local ones right now, and then we have the higher level. So those guys that are in the middle ground, I guess they have to just improve at their clubs for people to see them back in the national team. So the national team is getting very, very tough to make. It's either you're at the lower level in no disrespect in the JPL comparable to what we have, because we have a plethora of people to select from. So the middle tier will have a little problem, and enough of them would say that they would have done even better. What happened to the man that would say if he got the opportunity, he would have done even better? But because he's not in the island and he's in a USL team doing well and can't get a call up because you have one level and you have one level. What would you say to that man? Because that man would say, boy, injustice because the local guys them get a chance and me the year I play at a higher level and me can't get a chance because they moved from me in the middle, go straight to the bigger level of the Premier League and the Russian League, and you understand, you get what I'm saying now?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't even know how that part would work. I mean, that would be up to the coaching. No, the truth is it would be up to the coaching staff to be keeping track of all the players who are eligible to play for Jamaica. I think that's their job. We were told that on numerous occasions that that's what they will be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the truth is, if you're playing professional football overseas,
Mm-hmm.
it is a lot easier for them to track your progress in terms of stats and numbers, as opposed to the Jamaican Premier League. We're not at that level as yet. So it would spell sense that in order for them to better to more accurately track the losses, that they have to invite them at some camp or check them stats. The overseas players now, they can just check them stats and see what's going on with them. So
but because that is where I have a little problem, But as I said, I understand how they're going to work it out, But I just want to make sure it's clear, so clear that we don't get this same little thing that people saying, "Oh, other man not perform good." Man, I try to eradicate that. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to eradicate,
Yeah, and it should be a lot easier now because we are told that we have full-time coaches whose only job is to coach a national team.
Yes,
so they should be able to look at players and contact players and call and do all the other things that other persons were volunteering to do in the past. The YouTubers and the scouts and them people, the unofficial JFF scout them. There's no need for those persons anymore because I'm not trying to share at them, because those persons would have done their fair job in terms of looking out for the country's best interests. Get up and go contact players. Nobody now give them a credit. Nobody now pay them. Nobody now give them a recognition. When them come and match, they have to pay to come in the same way. Or them will beg a man a pass. Or them just do it because I love them for the football per se.
Yes.
So and that used to work because, like I said, we never really have full-time coaches and things. We used to have, So we have a full-time coaching staff now.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be that, and I'm not saying these persons can't still do it, but it should be a lot easier now for the coaching staff, because now we have head coach, we have assistant coach, 2 assistant coach, goalkeeper coach, physical trainer. So I mean, it should be a lot easier now for us to make contact with players. The coaches would have a greater latitude now to make contact with players and try and convince players and sell a vision to them. I mean,
Yeah.
as opposed to as opposed to before, because even when people like Devon Porter or whoever else used to contact players
Yeah, man. Devon Porter. Yeah.
and say, hey, I want you to play for Jamaica. And the player next question might be, hey, I want to play right back. Am I going to be able to play right back? And then Devon Porter might say, yes. But when him come, the coach put him a centre back. then
Yes. So
there's a conflict because
yeah.
so when the coaching staff are doing it now, they'll be able to tell a player that, hey, I want you to play right back, but if we have a strategy in centre back, you are my
Yeah.
option.
Direct. So you
You get
answer
that
the
shit?
last
Yeah.
question you answer the last question as well. That means the 3 persons attacking it and giving one coach or one coaching team the whole duty to improve Jamaica football is actually more of a better thing than a bad thing, because you don't get everything all over the place. Because you just answer that. So if a man if John Wall contact him, John Wall can connect to the coach directly and say, this is what he wants. So can we give him this? If not, we move away from it or something. So the communication is
Yeah,
fast.
it's more seamless. It's
Yes,
more
yes,
seamless and direct too.
agreed. Agreed,
It's
agreed.
more direct too, because it's a different conversation when the head coach pick up his phone, call an agent from England or from Norway or wherever, and say, hey, this is my name, I'm the head coach of Jamaica. I'm interested in your player. What can be done? As opposed to when somebody else call and say, hey, morning, I am a Jamaican living overseas. I love Jamaica, and I want you to come and play for Jamaica. Are you
Mm-hmm.
interested? You get me? I say so. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, thanks very much. We have reached an hour. Please do smash the like button, guys. Get us up to 200, 300, any amount of likes you can. If you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe as well. Send it your comments in. We will definitely read it. And if you want to call in, 5 minutes is the max. All right, 5 minutes is the max. All right, because we have people on the panel and we want to make sure the show can actually get everything. Just respect what we're doing. All right. So send your comments in and call in whenever you want and give your take. All right, so Cataract, best of yourself. What you want to add to this conversation? We got more news than what we expected, more than what we bargained for,
So I know we spoke yesterday, and yes, we got more than what we bargained for. But I wanted to just address something that Ian said. Good afternoon, Ian. I'm late to the class, not because I'm unruly like popcorn, but I got a notification that said 1:45 p.m.
At least you're not a back of the class. I'm okay with that because I can't stand that back of the class statement. That's glorified. No, I don't like it. But you're late, it's okay. But you're not at the back.
But I wanted to understand that no, I just want a quick thing. I just want to understand for those of us in Jamaica, when it says 1:45 p.m. is the show, what is the time? If could you in your thing, could you put whether it's Eastern Standard Time or Jamaica time?
I need to fix that.
Right?
I'm very sorry. No, we're 6 hours away. We are going to go back to 7 hours soon. But
right.
no, we're 6 hours. We're still 6 hours.
So that threw me off. So because I believe it's important. Thank you for having me on the panel. Good afternoon to Ian. I just wanted to address something that Ian.
Yeah, Brian Mighty.
Brian Mighty. Oh, Brian. Yeah. Sorry. You sound like Ian, sir.
No, man, Brian, you sound like Ian, man.
But I wanted to say this, Brian, in terms of surplus. And look here. Jamaica is unique. And I am supportive fully of the position that the coach should be contacting the players. But you see, because of how our diaspora is, it's not a one-size-fits-all. And I believe that there is a role for the diaspora to play in engaging professional football players who may be eligible to play for Jamaica. So, as it relates to calling people up for the team, 100,000% it must be the coach. As it relates to what I call recruitment of players, I believe the mistake that is being made is that that's an administrative task. And that task also requires some, what should I say, some advocacy, because it's not often obvious to players why it is that they should be looking towards Jamaica before you come to Project Jamaica, right? And if I can share a couple of examples with your JD.
Yeah, man, do your thing, but we have Jermaine and the call. So you do your thing. You know what to do.
No, man. I'm just going to share a couple of examples and allow the caller so your program can run freely. Because as I saw even yesterday when you were talking, some very serious things come out on Imaxit TV, right? We have players who, even though they have a Jamaican connection, I'm going to take, for example, the centre back at Bournemouth, the captain, right? Who fully Jamaican, but his parents have allegedly abandoned him as a child, and he was brought up in a foster home. Now, you wouldn't know this unless you have some community roots. And so the recruitment for Jamaica and the process for Jamaica requires a whole of island, a whole of Jamaica approach. So the coach is central, right? You might have a player who the coach wants, that if the coach says, look here, I want Ivan Toney. That's the man I want. Then the whole of Jamaica in West London must be mobilized to advocate to Ivan Toney. So when him go at the restaurant, man must say, Tony, where I deal with? If him go at the club, man must say so. If him go to the barber shop, him barber must say, Ivan, come on, man. Right? The embassy, the whole of Jamaica has to work together for this project to work. Now, let me tell you where I understood JD, and I'm going to break for the caller. You see, when it comes to the under 17 players, that's when I realized that what was happening is not sustainable. When we contact, everything got through all right the first time, and I said to a man, say, yes. And then next time I get a page, I say, boy, we just want to inquire if you're dealing in human trafficking. I said, human trafficking? Calling a youth who is under 18, who is a minor, to ask him if he was to travel to Jamaica to play for Jamaica is a big red flag. You're asking a minor to cross a jurisdiction, right, for human trafficking. I ever had a brethren, my usual route. I talk to all the song man them in England and say, yo, which club is support? Check out if them have a Jamaica that play for them. That's how I build up my database, right? Now, when a man said to me, say, boy, and this is real life, I have 7 Jamaican at Arsenal Academy, under 17. Check them out. As a matter of fact, I tell you that there's about a 7 born by a 7 then at the under 16, under 17, just coming as what they call first year scholar. And I said, boy, I got to check the man in now. I will try for days and months. And the man said, here what now? See me not too straight in England, you know. So me as a man, I can't go to the senior Arsenal match. but me go watch the youth football because you don't have so much police and you don't have so much camera and them something there. So understanding the intricacies of our diaspora and our situation is what will make us invincible, right? And so it's everybody have to involve in this thing for this thing to work. But the important difference that I would see is that the coach Hallgrimsson is involved. Now, what didn't happen was this.
Yeah,
man.
Oh,
the caller. Yeah, man, come in. Let me pause this up.
You plan out over bringing the caller. We don't wait for you, know. But
let me pause this up. No, let me pause. I can pause there, man. I can pause.
We're not disrespecting your brother. No, it don't work.
No, man, it's not disrespect. We're not about disrespect.
And we are giving him plug time, but once him start go off on a tangent, him completely forgot. No. Yeah, man, we're gonna make it finish, Katar. We're gonna make it finish. All right, so Mr. Jermaine, sorry to have you on the phone so long. So let we bring in Mr. Jermaine.
No, man, make him listen, man. No, man.
You want him land? All right, finish. Land, Katar. Land. I never know.
I have a question for him, so I wait till this finish.
Okay, I know you bad me up, so me make sure me know you bad me up.
Show
me know you bad me up. Me have to make sure me tell us and me.
No, man. No, I have a question for Cataract, so I wait till this finish.
Okay, so I'm saying that if the coach is at the center of it, if what you remember, because you cannot throw out the baby with the bathwater when it came to, for example, 98. What René Simoes did was René Simoes galvanized the entire Jamaica behind this project. So every Sunday morning that we had a Reggae Boyz match. I remember matches used to play on Sunday, right? In a 98, it matches never used to play in the week. It's Sunday matches used to play before you had a thing called FIFA window and them sort of thing. It's Sunday matches used to play. Every church in Jamaica from Negril Point to Moran Point, every Jamaican church in a New York, in a Miami, in a Fort Lauderdale, everybody I pray for the team. True or false? Every bar, Saturday night, every dance, every man I big up the Reggae Boyz. Shirt I buy. If you're now wearing a reggae, if you're now wearing a Kappa shirt, you're not getting a girl in a 97, 98. No. Try remember that, you know. That was like a hot fashion statement for the Kappa shirt, the original, till man start get the fake. So I'm saying it's a whole of nation approach that I would like to see. And I can break here and bring in the caller.
Yes, because remember, you know, we remix the show towards the Jamaican local guys. I mean, so we need to talk about that as well.
Yeah,
so,
man, I will. I want to just get that.
Richard Stewart says you're dry snitching on the man's them. So I guess you have to deal with that right after. El Granero, big up yourself. Padrino, big up yourself. Boss Thomas, big up yourself.
Padrino, big up.
Tennessee, big up yourself. Pagan, my brother, massive respect, big up yourself. And Granero said after the way Southgate treated Tony, we shouldn't have to call him for him to realize that he need to come. We are going to discuss that right after this, people. So guys, remember we already have the people here, you know, and we are giving the things reason. So if you don't like these contents, I don't know what you would like, because you have the fire, the education, everything put together, and the information. So hit the damn like button to get us to 200 or 300. You know what? A 300 likes me want. If I don't get 300 likes, me not coming back on YouTube. So I'm gonna keep bad minding me. All right? Yes. Don't do me that and see if I don't stop come. All right. Anyways, the big caller, Mr. Jermaine Miller. How you doing, man? Happy New Year.
I'm good. Cataract, are you still there?
Yeah, man. I'm here, man. I'm here.
Okay, I have a question. I mean, to be honest with you, my first time actually, you know, I believe in, you know, I actually understand, you know, the stuff that, you know, that you say. But I have a few, you know, questions to ask entire panel. Let's go for JD and everybody.
Go ahead.
I was listening to Mr. Speed and another, you know, you call it, last week, and he was saying that the JFF get a report from FIFA every year, right? Not one that everybody get to see, one that goes directly to them, right? And it show them what the shortfall is. And I guess they get it every year, right? Now, my point is, if they be getting a report every year, and it show them where they're falling short, and it's taking them this long to try and fix this thing, what do you think was holding them back for doing this for so long? Then I have another question after this.
But fixing what?
Fixing the program. If they get right, if every year FIFA send them, a report of what they're doing, of what they're failing, what every other nation is doing. That's what he said last week. They get a report from FIFA to show what every other nation is doing, right? How they're improving and what we are not doing and how we are failing. That's what he said. That
So,
comes to them.
so
So
they
my
would have
say,
to answer
if they get
why
report
that
from
report. They would have to answer why that report is not made shared with the stakeholders, and the public is a stakeholder. The fans are a key stakeholder. You'd have to share everything if there are some sensitive things in there. If there are some nonsensical thing like the toilet now work up at the head office, we don't need to know that. But I think we need to know the substantive issues. But I think that the program as it was running benefited some people. It benefited a few at the expense of the majority.
all right,
Right?
here's my next question now. Yeah, here's my next question now. Everyone was saying that,
But let me say something to you. I don't want to bash Mr. Speed
okay.
because it get tiring. But Mr.
No,
Speed said a lot of things. No, he said a
for him.
lot of things. He said a
It's not
lot
for
of no man. I'm saying he said a lot of things. Some which, for example, when JD raised the issue about the 300, the 30,000 and the schoolboys that players get 200,000. No, you can't take the exception and try to make that the rule. When earlier today, JD, man can't come to camp call up because them they on site work.
Okay.
I live lumber, I live steel. But go ahead, next question.
The next question is this. JD,
Yes, I'm
are
listening.
you
I'm
there?
listening.
This
I'm
is
listening.
for everybody. It's for everybody. When people were saying that, certain people get to pick the team and then add this player in, right? With this coach in, do you think that is going to be the same argument, or this coach you think is a no nonsense coach? No one's going to tell him who to pick.
All right, let me answer that as how I can and the best way I see fit. At this point, he has three persons collecting data, which is Mr. Janual and also Merron Garden. For this one, he's not in the island long enough to say that he watches all of these players played. So at this point, you're not going to talk about Hallgrimsson. You're going to talk about Hallgrimsson crew, to be honest. And I think this was put together by the Hallgrimsson crew rather than Hallgrimsson himself. All right, so you still have other people picking the team with Hallgrimsson, like this one. It's not a flat out Hallgrimsson.
Okay, this is a honest answer.
Yes,
I think this is a honest answer. This is a honest answer. All right.
Can I add something to what JD said?
Okay.
JD,
Sure.
Yesterday on the U17 press conference interview, it was revealed that Coach Merron Gordon's a full-time teacher.
Okay.
All right, guys. Here's my next one. This way you can catch
finish up, Carl.
I'm not on the island, right? Let me finish up. I'm not on the island. Going to school, do you have to have your birth certificate now? Because I remember back in the days when I was going to school, there were some kids who come to school with no birth certificate, got through the whole program. The reason why I mention this, I see some children still have problem getting the birth certificate, getting the passport now, and to leave the island. And I'm just saying, if you are going to school, you play sports, right? At some point, them supposed to make sure you have your documents. That's in case, you're gonna go away to represent the island. Is that the case now, where the student have to have their birth certificate now?
I think you always needed a birth certificate. At least since 2000, I thought that you always needed a birth certificate because the birth certificate is a form of identification. If you don't have a birth certificate, you don't have your passport, you don't have an ID. So then, people will know that your name Aritam or dead dog? I don't know how people know the difference.
So JD.
No, the reason why I mentioned that.
Hold on. I'm trying to make the caller finish so we can get on.
No, I want to respond to that question because it's a very important question. You have a right to education. So if you don't have a birth paper, as we call it in Jamaica, you can still attend school. Right? You have a right to education under the Charter of Rights. So a child can't be turned back because they have a birth paper or age paper.
And when was that rule came in Cataract? Because when I was going to Jamaica school, they pretty much abolished that. You have to have no. I'm telling you, Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller, just relax.
No, JD, he's right.
So can I
JD,
speak?
I've been to school with children.
So Mr. Miller, you're older than me, right?
No documents.
Mr. Miller, you're older than me, right? Don't you 40 or you're older than me, right?
No, so, we are the same here, JD. We are the same age.
But when I was going to school at the start, yes, that was a thing. But at one point they said you cannot come. Everybody have to come, have to get their birth paper and stuff. So I don't know if it changed, but no, that's why I'm asking.
No, JD.
I'm trying to
up to 5 years ago.
I'm trying
I
to
know of
avoid
some students who did not have the documents, and the school couldn't turn them back. And the reason
hold on the caller because I don't want to send any wrong message out, you know. All right, so
okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna get the answer for you. People, if you're in Jamaica and you know what's required, please educate me because I know that at one point you must have your birth paper. Because even me myself had to get that done. Obviously, I had to bring mine to update them. Just to prove when the system came in at first.
JD, okay, I hear you, but I think you're jumping too far. I'm not saying it's not required; it is required. But you have a few parents who don't have it, right? The school not gonna kick them out. What they say, keep going to school until you know it comes forward.
You get in school in the first place.
But not every parent is like me and you. And I'm telling you, I have a cousin that was 16 years old. And was getting his paperwork, you know, and it was an issue with his birth certificate. He didn't have one, and I was like, "You're 15 and you're going to school all this time, and you know, have your birth certificate, but it's not his fault; it's his parents' fault. You can't blame him." Okay. That's my point. I mean, there's still some lapses. The reason why I mention this, guys, right, is I've seen there's some instances right now where some kids who want to come overseas and play sports, you know, for a certain thing, and they don't have, if they cannot get their passport. That's why I asked this question, and I'm not trying to.
Yeah, but you're bun me out for me. Tell you what me know what in my days, you know. You say me in the same days, but me I tell us when me just start. I said to you, yes, when I just start primary school, I would agree with you that some people never have their birth paper and they made it fly. But by the time we reached high school, it was a mandated thing, and right now people say, yeah, you have to have your immunization card and the birth certificate in order to get in. So I don't know. So Cataract, if you have a different answer from everybody in the chat, okay.
I'm saying to you, between the years of 2002 to 2008 and the years 2011 to 2015, I had a close association with the Ministry of Education. So I'm going to say this to you. The rule is that you should have a birth certificate. However, the Constitution, the Charter of Fundamental Rights says no child can be denied access to an education. So the school will say, sort out the age paper, get it sorted, and then come as the term goes on. And many children go through without. Now, when it would become absolutely critical, you know, is when they're going to sit external exams like CSEC. But nearly half the children who go to school don't sit any CSEC, you know. They don't sit any subjects. Okay. So that is the loophole, which is why the government, and you know, the government, I'm not a friend, but they have brought in a thing that says NIDS, which is a national identification system that starts to track a Jamaican from as early as you're born. You will get on the NIDS system and you would have an ID and that sort of identification. Because you have many Jamaicans. If you just look at the wanted man list, a man only known as Tanto Blacks, 49 years old. You can't go to his school record, you can't go anywhere and find out who is Tanto Blacks. Right? So that loophole is trying to be closed now by NIDS. So there's a rule, JD, but there's also a larger thing, which is that the fundamental charter of rights usurp that in some respect, right? So
Okay.
it is
Let me
being
ask my
cleaned up.
last question. I'm gonna come out
Go ahead.
here. And my final question, gentlemen, is this, right? For everybody on the panel. I do think that everybody like this coach, and I do think that, you know, we all have to give him the, you know, just give him some time to get it done. And I believe in him. Right now, I kind of, you know, I believe the JFF finally, you know, they finally, you know, kind of see that, you know what, we've got to be, you know, this, that. Anyway, here's a question. What if the coach does not like any of the players that we are all up and hype about, like the Whisperers and all the players, right? And he assessed
Lord
them
God.
and went, wait. No, and I'm gonna get off the point. What if he doesn't and he's still being successful, right? He didn't choose these players. He went his own way and he assessed everybody. Just like the reason why I asked this is how people
We were going to get
when
to it. No man. Continue, man. Continue. We were going to. You don't have to tell me the reason. Yeah. Continue, but big boss.
Right? But they don't, you know. So I'm saying that what if he doesn't choose the players? I'm not saying that he shouldn't. I'm just saying what if he say he assess everybody and he say I'm going, you know what I mean, I'm going this route, right? So I just want to get the panel assessment if, you know, they think that everybody will still...
We're going to start,
you know,
right there, Mr. German, right there, because that's where we
so
were
I'm
going.
To get off now and listen to you guys.
All right, respect, big boss. All right. So, Mr. Right, so we're going to go back to the list now, guys. Send a question in. I think it's a good question because that's exactly what we are going to ask. Obviously, Dujuan Richard Whisper, what his name? You know his name.
Dujuan
I don't have
Richards.
Malachi Douglas. He clearly asked if these guys are not after getting vetted and not and he looked at others and said, oh, these are others that are above the persons. How would we respond? So I'm gonna start to the man that claimed to say he's the biggest advocate of Whisper above me. You know, yes, Mr. Jamaican Guna. Good day, Mr. Jamaican Guna. Happy New Year. Hope all is well with you.
Bless up, G.
Bless up, you know. Bless up, JD. Big up, Cataract the War Boat, and big up all the people them in the chat. Blessed day, blessed evening, good afternoon, good morning to everybody in a really day. Let me just start by saying congratulations to the players. You mentioned Dujuan Richards. Malachi Douglas is another one that I was advocating for. Kyle Ming is another player that I think deserve a call up for a little bit now. The player I play good for a while. There's this new player. I watched some JPL for a couple of, I think about 4 weeks now. Youth from Cavaliers, they bleach out here. They're tall youth. They were the number 9. I think his name Anderson. So I'm gonna look on the list here. Colin Anderson, yeah, that youth there.
Because he has the most goals, so he's on the list.
Yeah, congratulations to that youth there as well. There's another player as well. Let me look on the list. There's another player. I think so. Them players there, you know, deserve. Trevante Stewart.
Yeah.
So you have a few players that may have not been capped or maybe have a 1 cap or so. That I think you hear me?
Yeah, man. We're hearing you.
Okay, good. But I'm congratulating and getting called up into the camp. It's not a final squad as yet, but I have a big up the man them players that them players that we mentioned. For Dujuan Whisper Richards in particular. As I said, I'm happy that he's getting a look in, and Malachi Douglas. I think those players, even watching the Allman in all the Costa game, you can see that those players are maybe a level above. I'm surprised that the Aldridge is not there as well. You know, so I'm happy for these players that I just mentioned. Demario Phillips as well. From Montpellier. I think he was at WM there at one point. He was at Dunby Walden at one point. So yeah, man, we have to congratulate those players and getting invited. I think the coach is looking at you know, a specific kind of player or a specific age group, and I'm happy that he's calling up. I don't see everybody is going to disagree with players or who they think should be here or whatever. But I am really happy with the selection of players. I think it seems as if we're moving in the right direction as it relates to the youth that we're gonna recruit and farm a pool around going into the next cycle of World Cup qualifiers and Gold Cup and Nations League. So I'm pretty satisfied with the list of players that he has put together, and I see that's 10 players from Mount Pleasant. So all being said, I'm pretty satisfied. I don't know all the players them, but the ones that I do know, I'm pretty satisfied with them. And I think with this set of players from the local league, I would have wished to see a camp with these players coming together with some of the bigger players, them, the Bobby Reeds and the Bailey, and these players were playing at a higher level, to let them can go and learn. But putting together, like for instance, a Dujuan Richards and Malachi Douglas in particular, in the big man badge.
Jamaican, you're hearing us?
Yeah, I'm hearing it loud and clear.
So why you left from them getting a tryout to you want to see them with everybody? No,
I would have loved to see. No, I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see that. It's not gonna happen because of where it's located. But I'm still. It's not something negative. It's still something positive.
Enough happen. Them for just train and the best player out of this, move on towards the squad. Me don't know why you
say. Yeah, because I would still, you want to, when you're going to assess the players them, right? These are just basically JPL versus JPL, right?
Yes.
And generally speaking, JPL is at a specific level. So it's not just, all right, let me give you an example. Like, say, for instance, you have a Dujuan Richard, who's a forward, right?
Yes.
And he's coming against a JPL player. He doesn't play in the JPL, but he's coming up against a JPL player in training. He will learn more from coming up against a higher level player, like a Rupert or stuff. He will learn at a faster level coming up against those players because they're playing at a higher level.
I understand, Jamaica. Him that play against school. So the next,
but I understand the point where you are trying to make. It's like you're creating a straw man. What's the point that you're trying to make?
JD,
we are trying to say because I don't know why you are trying to force people all about.
Me know what me I say, but I'm trying to figure out why are you objecting to what me I say. What's the objection?
JD, there's a legitimate objection.
I have an objection and we want to give my objection. So
me want your JD objection. What's the legitimate objection?
What you think? You think I'm afraid of make it man wheel out the fire? I didn't understand. Me opposed to it. Me think say this what the man do is perfectly fine. You're bringing all the money with the time. Even if it was FIFA window, me alright with this. Me not see none of them player will do nothing as yet if I prove to say them need to match up with the next players them need to learn here and just keep on being the best of themselves, and then the best of this bunch go on with the next bunch, because we cannot have 65 man and go together when we have to pay for 65 man. We not have enough money for do that because we barely have money for pay players, so we have 65 man in our camp when we only can pay for 23. Oh, that gonna work, Jamaica and go now. That's my problem. I don't know why we have to keep them. And what them do so much in a life, them always everywhere, and them need for being on the team, and them need to learn from Aritam. Why not go to your club to get a club and learn from Aritam? Me can't understand where this baby feeding thing I come from. That's my problem. Why baby feeding have involved? No, you go to your club.
Because Guna, I think you're making a fundamental error in assessment. This call up, as I understand it, this camp is an assessment camp. It's not to learn. It's not a training camp. It's a camp that will allow the coach to assess what is possibly the best available on the island. And I support it 100%. The best and the cream will rise to the top in this camp. So, for example, if Dujuan Richards is not getting to play with the top class striker, but he's going to be playing against a lower class defender,
he might go look better.
Conversely, so you will look better. So ultimately, everything will max out itself, and the coach will have 2 days to assess. I expect that some players will be cut and never come back. others will carry forward, and I support 100% the concept of having a local on-island squad that is called in from time to time for 2 days. And so, for the coach.
So where in my argument did I say I do not support a local squad?
No. It's not that you didn't support it. It's you said you want.
What I said, I would like to see these set of players, these 32 players. I would like to see these 32 players in a camp. I would like to see the best of the JPL in a camp with the international players. What is wrong with that statement?
And I'm saying that what is wrong with that is that you're going to hold back that camp. Because when the 32...
Bro, you see, una think short term, brother. Una going like Jamaica, Brazil. We're thinking, una think short term. I am thinking long term. So if a person, let's say 16 players out of this 32 is selected and brought into the squad with the top players them, right? 16, let's say 16. Let's say half of this squad is brought in with the top players them, right? Cool. The other 16 who are not brought in with the top players would not have gotten the opportunity to learn anything. So them to make the squad enough, but they're still gonna be able to take back to their clubs and then learning knowledge. Getting a bulk of knowledge from these international players. So even when them don't make the 16, they're still gonna learn. That is what we talk about, the long haul. So one have a problem with that boat.
They will hold. Hold on. Let me just explain this point to you, because this is what he's missing. He said, he's in charge of the entire development, Cataract is right on the basis of what's happening now. But these guys that did not get a chance to get to the one that will not progress, right? They will still be in and around the team, because he will always send back them with information needed to their clubs and do their things. So they will get an opportunity the next time. So I'm just asking, why is it they have to get the opportunity now? You get me? And
I did not say they have to get the opportunity. I said I would have liked to see. That's what I say I create a straw man, because you're saying something that I did not say. I'm building an argument around that. I did not say them shoulda. I'm saying to you, I would like to see a squad. If you can pull back and hear what I say exactly. I would like to see. So idealistically, what I would like to see is for the best of the locals in a camp with without even 5 or 6 of our top players, so they can learn. So that means these players that don't make the final cut can go back learning from international players, getting that professionalism, getting that experiences. And maybe some of them, they can go back forward in our squad again at a later date, because I'm looking at the long haul. We're at the beginning of our campaign, bro. So this is, it's all assessment from here. At the top players, then we know who they are, but it's all assessment from here. I'm looking at the long haul, and I'm saying that I would like the bigger players them to have an opportunity to be with some of these players who, even them though them not make the squad, them can say, boy, I did have a training session with a Michael Antonio, I'm gonna learn this, I'm gonna learn that, and they can take it back to the and improve themselves based on training with these players. That is it. So I don't understand why not object about that. I didn't say I want, I say idealistically I would like to see.
But Jamaica Guna, all I'm saying is a FIFA window. Them only available in a FIFA window. Just explain that part. And
my bro, you keep on saying, you keep on creating the straw man. I have to come off of that and go back on what I said. I said, idealistically, I would like to see. I am aware that it's not a FIFA win. You're not allowing me to finish. You keep on talking over me and now listen. I am saying, you idealistically, I would like to see these players with the bigger players them in a camp together. I am aware that it's a FIFA window. I even mentioned that earlier on in the conversation. I am aware that it's not a FIFA window, so these big players won't be able to come in. But idealistically, that is something I would like to have seen. That is it.
So you would well, let me just clear my same.
Don't mischaracterize what I said, because you're saying things that I did not say. Say what I said. Idealistically, I would like to see.
So let me finish the big
man. So build the argument around that.
My argument is, so if that's the case, then clearly we have it now, which is not a FIFA window. We know that. So we scrap the part there. But you would have to when it is a FIFA window, we have an extra day, like we are gonna have a longer FIFA window and we only have one. You would have want to bring them same 32 players with them on them before the match, just to make sure everybody can come in our camp. That is what you would have.
Yes, if a FIFA window comes around, let's say at the next FIFA window, I think it's gonna be March, right? Or something like that, or February. So if a FIFA window comes in February, I would like to see all these players that you have here on this exact same list we're going to know one and two are going to switch out. But I would like to see all these players in. With those big players, when the big players come, all of them are going to make squad, obviously. But I would like to see all these players in, the JPL strength players, them and Dujuan Richards, in a camp with our big players and learning from our big players. The professionalism that is required, the technique, the speed, all of them, something them, I like to see them and learn from it. The speed of these players is going to be way immense more than JPL. You understand? JPL is a molasses league comparing the passing accuracy and all of them stuff there. These players are going to come in with that experience. And I would like to see this pool of players, this 32 pool of players, is part of what's going to be maybe a pool of maybe 60, 70, 80 players, right? From local or maybe so. And let's say local JPL plus USL plus, I don't wouldn't want to, but local USL, MLS, that pool of players where coming in where it's not the England and the European base side. Let's say we're going to have, let's say, 40 players or so, or 50 players coming in with that pool. That we call that a local pool then. And then we have the international pool where we have maybe about 10 players coming in, 15 players coming in from that international pool. What I would like to see idealistically is these 32 players with, let's say, those 15 players that are coming in from the international, the bigger leagues. And then they can learn from those 15 players. Even if 15 out of them local, or 16 out of them local man and make it, or 30 out of them local man and make it. I would just like to see them training with those players so they can learn for the long haul. That is what I'm saying.
Go ahead, Jamie. Katra, go ahead.
Okay. So this argument is problematic on so many levels, right? The first being that when you have the opportunity to have the international players, those are FIFA windows, which are around international competitive match days, which means that the coach has an objective in mind, which is preparing a team for an international competitive assignment. That is not the time for development and learning. That is the class for the pick that them will learn already. And you decide they have made the grade to be with the big boys.
Can I interject here? Can I respond to that?
You did not allow me to. No, you did not allow me to.
No, you keep on talking all the time I was talking. But
no, I was
go
not
ahead.
speaking.
You're long-winded, so I can't adjust every point. By the time you reach point 37 down the lane, I forget about point 1, bro. So me have to adjust each as a go along. I can just interject right here and adjust that.
You have 37 hit songs. I'm seeing a DJ the whole of them on stage. You don't forget. Right? So I know one of the pull-up artists. A DJ from start of the song to the end of the song. You know, punchline. Good. The second thing, JD, is what you call mixed learning. So the 60, having the 32 players will hold back the class. Because now him have to go be talking to this man here about passing the ball correctly. And the whole class don't have to wait while him go correct a man where at the back of the class. These sessions here are to bring the players up to allow them to assess, allow them to understand his philosophy, go back to your club, develop your skill, refine your skill, see you again next month. But to hold back the FIFA window class that has the international players in order for someone feel good to say that or get a little
it's not feel good, it's called development.
To get a little learning tidbit.
But we're at the beginning of our campaign, my G. What are you guys talking about? When you feel like we're not gonna lose no match? It's at an experimental stage now. Why everybody thinks that we're gonna win the World Cup from the first match, bro? It's a development stage and it's experimental now. Where we're at now, we're at the beginning. We're at day zero. We're at day zero now, and we're working towards a goal. And that ultimate goal is to get to the World Cup in 26, which is 3 years from now, bro. So and we're at the beginning. We're not about winning every single match. No, we're at about finding a pool of players to put together. So the ultimate goal is not to win every single match that is placed in front of us. No, the ultimate goal is to win, is to qualify ourselves for the World Cup. So we are going to have players now who are in the team now that's not going to be there when World Cup qualifiers start. We know that, right?
But what your dream is suggesting.
Oh, Mexico right up now. Mexico is actually a game where them say them want to win. You know. They might try to get everybody to come towards you. Know. So
every single team goes out saying they want to win every single game, but they're not gonna win every single game.
Yeah, but me I say Jamaican Guna, it's a place to go to this next round, and then you can actually go and truly win the Nations League if you get that opportunity. So this is a different game than an actual group.
So it's not our aim now to win the Nations League. We're not looking at World Cup anymore. We're gonna try to win everything. That is the problem with Jamaica.
Hold on.
No, you know that's the problem with Jamaica. That's our problem, you know. That's our one big problem where we as Jamaicans do, you know. We want to win every match. We think say we not to lose no match. You know, so when time World Cup, you were referring to the World Cup that we went to, won the World Cup, yeah?
Yes.
It's when we were qualified, you know, so you know how much beating we get?
Yes.
I think El Salvador all around whop we up in and conquering our head how much time, you know. Because it was experimental, bro. We were experimenting with players. When the campaign started, it was Gregory Messam. Then when the campaign ended, the starting left back was Bibi Gardner. Paul Young was a part of the process as well. By the time the World Cup come around, him a 100-year-old, him couldn't play.
But Jamaican Guna, if I ask a big question by all your reason, so that simply means
So I'm going to give you every single answer. I'm saying to you, the point is we're at the beginning of our campaign. Not that in our head. We're not going to win every single match. We're going to have players that we're calling, have a look at them. Then now going to make the squad continue moving forward by the time we're bringing the big players them. But I am saying to you, we have to continue having these players working with, building a core, building a chemistry within the camp so that we have players who, say for instance, a left back drop out from the local and we have a better left back can call in. We'll have him a part of the camp because he has trained previously with Rupert them and with Low them and the ball of them where we play at a higher level where them can forward in and come learn.
So
I don't think we're gonna learn that much by just having JPL players playing against JPL players when we can have a higher level of players playing with them. And even when you're assessing, you want to assess players versus players. So you want to assess your better defender against your better striker or a new striker coming in to see how he goes up against a big. You want to see how the local you that I just mentioned a while ago. I'm seeing him. Colin Anderson goes up against Rupert. If he can beat Rupert, if he can take on Rupert or whatever. And you want to see Michael Antonio versus Richard King. You always may say you want to assess them based on that, based on the higher quality opposition that they're coming against. So assessment is not just looking for a player with one binoculars, it's actually assessing how they compete. You don't run in a race by yourself, bro, G. You're running a race with some other people in the race, G.
So you finish your LP. LP.
I'm EP, you know, we don't do LP again, bro. I'm to 97-year-old man.
Speak all talking. Let me talk like you sign a coach just to pay the man in money now. You pay the man in money. The first thing on it is get way to the World Cup. All right. Set up an infrastructure for make Jamaica football better. Remember, so that you sign the man for that job, you know. The man come and say, yo, this is what may I do for the infrastructure, different from what may I do for the national team. May I just ask you a question, Jamaican Guna. You really think them player up on the list are better than the man we can select? We can't me not believe that, you know. Me not believe that.
Once again, the great JD makes a strawman argument, says something that I did not say, and then attack that something that I did not say.
Me not attack.
Me don't know better than Anna worse than me. Say to you, say, when the higher quality players come in, they're gonna get obviously them are gonna be because them better. Cause in person, all of them man better everybody boy. We know that. We not talk about that. I never said nothing about better a while ago because it's obvious. If you're a great player, you're gonna be plying your trade someplace else because it's 2023 now, and people have phone, and people have camera, and people have recruiters, and people have So if you're good, you're gonna get picked up by some scout somewhere and go somewhere else to play football. You're creating a strawman argument again because you're saying something that I did not say.
I've never said that. I asked you
something about you say you're attacking better, and I've never said about better. I never seen a local player better than nobody. I never said about no better.
You know, you hear me say, just finish your point because we never hear
me say a while ago, but you keep on creating strawman arguments.
You say that.
So when me say is for the long haul. For the long haul, 3 years long haul. getting these local players, these JPL, primarily JPL players, right? Playing, training with our elite players, our elite level players, the best that Jamaica has to offer. The Leon Bailey, Michael Antonio, Rupert, Kaim Paris, Shamar Nicholson. These players who are applying their trade in bigger leagues, getting our local players, going up against them and assessing them is a better assessment than just have JPL against JPL. So ideally, I would have liked to see these players, these local selected players, training with those big players. That is what I said ideally. And I'm sticking to that argument.
Guna, B. Douglas Guna don't have my ticket. I'm trying to say something. Guna is saying what he wants. But I've never questioned what he said. I just added something on it. You get me? So no bother with it, B. Douglas. No bother with it. I'm trying to get a point. I said I'm not agreeing with that. I am not agreeing that people, if you're good, you get it. You do your job. And if the young, if the JPL go down younger, the JPL will improve just the same. I don't necessarily think I am going to be I wouldn't ideally want that either, because that's almost impossible to happen, because it happens nowhere else on planet Earth.
Yes, it does. It does actually. If you look at the USA roster, when USA call up all 60 players in a one camp, and the whole of them play together, and then them assess it and break it down to from 60 to 40, then from 40 to 30, and then so on and so forth. They do it. They actually do it.
I saw the MLS squad. I've never saw the entire 65-man squad with
No. They do. If you look at it again, man, trust me when I tell you this, you can check it out for yourself. They call about 60 players into the squad, and then they break it down. Them are the big players, them man. Them other big players as part of the thing, and then them break it down.
I will go back 3 years and check, because for the last year,
because even recently they did that. They call in a whole heap of players and then break it down so till it reach, wait for each, and then them select who them for select and stuff like that. So that is how it is done. And them have a huge. America have 300 million people, bro, and you know what I mean. So we're comparing to that. I'm just trying to let you understand that with our pool that we have, and we have a local contingent, making our local contingent train with our bigger players, them who are the elite players, them outside of applying their trade in all these leagues across the world. We would like to see, I think we'll get a better assessment when we're having them training together, and they will learn for the long haul. They will learn more faster for the long haul. They will learn, as I said, the list of things that I outlined earlier on. They would learn overall because they're coming up against better opposition. They're seeing, they're learning. A man pick a ball and make a turn, and say, oh, and that. Because if you watch the JPL, you know, brother, if the man then put 10 passes together, as a miracle, you know. If you watch a JPL match, any JPL match, pick any JPL match random, and see if a side can put 10 passes together. So look at that versus, let's say, when we were playing our teams were playing in the Caribbean League recently, and we see an 80 team and put 25 passes together. We don't see that happening in our local league, bro. The man them just not passing the ball accurately. So when you have a player who can forward in, a Daniel Johnson, or the man where we can pass the ball around, and you realize, oh shoot, say on a real level though, me need to fix up my think them man knock the ball like a joke, and we there so try dribble past everybody, and I hold on the ball too long, and our response time in terms of tackles coming in, and in terms of passing the ball accurately so the ball I can get it, and if him is left footed, you pass it on the left side. That intelligence that is required. Our local league, if you look at any match, just pick any match random, you see if you can put Cinnamon and put 10 passes together. So very few local teams. I was watching schoolboy football. I must see Klein College put 15 passes together, and a schoolboy footballer. And you're watching JPL and you don't see it matriculate to that. So as I'm saying, you playing with better players will make you better. That's basically my point. Playing with better players will make you better. So if the Mexico window comes around, yeah, and we're calling up players, I would have liked to see them call up the whole entire 32, have them playing. The coach has his players already where more select. So let's say him select 10 out of this 32 contingent. Let's say those are the 10 that he says he likes. But when the Mexico game comes around again, bringing back the rest at 22 where you never select, bringing them, have a second look at them, have them playing training against the best that Jamaica has to offer, and then make a second assessment again. That is my point. Playing with better players make players better.
So, Guna, you have, when I started, I could even see what you were saying. No, it just gone to misguided. So here's where your argument just break down as a fallacy. Firstly, there is something called an ideal size. That's why you have an ideal size of a class. When you get to 35 players plus the 20 players that coming in from overseas, you have gone into an unmanageable situation where no learning can take place. Right? That's number one. You have an ideal class size, which them say are 20 or 30, or even less if you want to get real elite learning happening. Secondly, your whole point that's saying that the players were near the JPL are not putting 10 passes together is one of the reasons why this ought not to happen. Because what you are going to do is frustrate the elite players who come here, because when they are ready to knock together 20 passes, in comes the worst player in this 32-man squad to mess up the game. So, in trying to achieve one objective, you are going to frustrate another objective.
The man said, and every game we need to win, so the Mexico game never reached.
I don't reach to win, you know. I don't reach to win. I don't reach to the winning part yet. I am not dealing with the winning part, JD. Allow me to respond, right? Because I'm not gonna say I'm long-winded in making point fulsomely. Frustrating those players, including new recruits that you're bringing in to elevate the program, is going to be detrimental and counterproductive. Going to 2026 cannot be based on having a majority local JPL-based squad in 3 years' time. That cannot be the objective for going forward. Right? So this could not be, what you're suggesting could not be dealing with qualifying for the World Cup. What we have agreed to qualify for the World Cup is we need to have a core of consistent players and add a few players in and around it due to injuries, red cards, accumulation of cards, unavailability, not released by a club due to, imported assignment and those things. But not to be chopping and changing as we go along. That's what we agreed. But we never agreed that to base a squad on 80 JPL players and bring in 5 overseas players and those things because we want to develop for the future. This part is correct. The other 2 points I'm going to make, JD, listen to me carefully. There is a financial constraint to this. When you have the international window, the arrangements are completely different. The team doesn't stay up at Captain Horace Burrell Center. They doesn't train at Captain Horace Burrell Center. They train, stay together at a 4-star accommodation hotel, which is what is required by FIFA, I think, right? And that is a major expense. And I don't think the JFF, even though money is coming in, is ready to start just being lavish about things. The last point I want to make in this, JD, is about this thing that says winning doesn't matter. And we are not about winning. Look here. Winning is a habit. And there are consequences to losing. And one of those serious consequences, JD, is losing our ranking in the world. Those consequences have to do with the highest league in the world, in which if you're outside of the top 50 for 3 years, players can't get to transfer so easily, which then is counterproductive to the same JPL players who would like to get out and reach to England and reach to other major leagues, right? So winning is important. It's a culture. It is a habit. And I'm sorry, in 1998, my friend Jamaica Guna, you and I were there. We had almost a 50-game unbeaten run. We were not experimenting. We had a clear objective of having the best players represent Jamaica and finding those best players, finding some hidden gems in the major league like Ian Pepe Goodison, and they come to the fore. But it's not about bringing 32 man where they have no chance of making the squad. If come train with man, so that they can go back to their squad and say, okay, I saw Ravel Morrison make an inch perfect pass over 50 yards. Me I go back to try that. That's not how learning is. I'm sorry. You don't send students that go into Jamal class to go up to UE to go sit down in lecture to say, oh, you hope them go and learn to read and write because they must sit down up at UE. You have to allow them to learn with persons of similar ability, and then the brightest ones will go on to Heart, and then they may go on to primary and junior high, and then they matriculate at different rates and different levels. That's my point, JD. I think it's 6 points we made that show that Jamaican Gooner's argument is seriously flawed. And I'd like, if anything else, we can go on to looking at who are in his squad.
I will add something to it because I understand where he's trying to come from, But at the end of the day, we have to always say that even though Mr. Hallgrimsson is here to develop Jamaican grassroots, he's still not here to make sure people reach their peak. He's here to set the things them in stone, because remember he has another objective as well, which is to qualify. So simple means he spread his squad thin before FIFA dates and draw them back in when FIFA dates time come, because you without FIFA date you're working on the full plan. And then now, when the FIFA date starts, that's when you need a result. Exactly, that's what you want. So it's hard for me to just jump one step. I think what he does here, it's good. I understand where Jamaican Guna saying that when you play with better players, you will become better players. No problem. But it's kind of conflicted to say that due to the fact that we have two objectives. If we only had one objective, which is just to get Jamaica players better overall, we already have good players, but just to get everybody on the tree better, then I could see how that works. But once we have other objectives, which is to qualify and do good things, and keep our FIFA rankings at the same time, because that's a good point to touch as well. What is sense will make them good? Only for play for Jamaica? So what about to keep them sustainable good in a club? They can't move to that club, or it's going to be extremely difficult. People have to pay the extra money for you to go to each one of these clubs via special packages, which you might not reach a transfer fee. You might value 600,000. They're not going to pay 1.3 million or $10 million for you. So it makes it extremely difficult when you put it in a full context. But I understand where you are coming from, Jamaican Guna. But if you look at it in an overall context, at this point, what Jamaica want, and that's why I said your ideal conversation, we just says ideal, so you're not looking for it to happen. But I'm just saying that it's going to be hard to even put into context at this point based on what the objectives are. And I think that he did a very good job and picking this squad together to just get the youth them together, show them his plan. Because what this shows Cataract and Jamaican Guna, he's already improving them. They never knew his plan. They never had first-class treatment. They never had first-class coaching, or the toughest coaches them in the world coaching them. So that's already a big step up. What I want to ask Jamaican Guna, you know if they can take in all of this information at once? That is my main question for Jamaican Guna. Now they have to know a new system and also go up against the big players. You know if they can grasp all of that at once, because this is the first most of them will even coach by a coach like this quality, plus to go up against the big level players them as well. So Jamaican Guna, that is the only question I want to ask you. You know if them can even survive at that level. Big Boss, that's the only question I want to ask you on that, and then we'll go on to the detail at the squad itself. You know them can manage so much things at once, getting the coaching plan, and also the high-level competition. So you're telling them to learn how to fit the coach system and then go there and do it in pretty much days. That's not a valid question, Cataract. You don't think
that question is for me?
Yeah, man, you may talk, man. Say, oh, you know, because I think you put them under more pressure with what's going on now.
Listen, listen, we're not gonna agree on this because I realize that you guys are thinking of winning every single match. I realize that you guys are not thinking about where we're at in our campaign, knowing that we're not looking at winning the Nations League per se, we're not looking at winning the Gold Cup per se, but if you can go far in those competitions, that's great. Jamaica's always had a problem with not thinking about, with not preparing. And if we're gonna do it this time around, and I think the right way to do it would be to prepare from early out, like what the only time we went to World Cup was in the 98 campaign. And the reason, and a large part of the reason for that was that we were very prepared going into the competition because we had a coach that circle the whole country, go watch some different league, prepare the team from way out. We have the players and playing together, building chemistry from way out, and integrating players into that system. Go on, we don't want to reach a last spot, and we reach a last spot. Them time that we call up players and say, all right, forward, you know, when you reach World Cup campaign, because we have that to sell them. So if that is what is going to be the repeating thing where we are going to constantly do, then fine. That is what you're thinking. I am thinking of the long haul.
You're building a straw man argument.
I'm actually repeating what you guys are saying. So if there's a part of it that is not right, then tell me what it is.
That's the straw man argument.
What's the straw man argument?
That the development, in order to develop a squad, that's a consistent core squad that are properly developed, it does not require you to ideally take the entire 32 man that you call up in the first training camp and bring them in to train with the professional players who are based overseas. That is not required in development, because what you're also missing is that there are other players on the island who will come to the fore, and therefore you need to weed out so that others can come in and get their chance to shine. You know what I see the squad as? Guna and Anthony, as what the England call their C squad. That a man who now playing at the Premier League. Them they're the England C squad. You will never play for England, you know, but you get international experience so that if in the future you step up to an elite level, as in the Premier League, you would have gotten international exposure that would ready you. But it's not to walk from the England C squad into the England thing there. Because what you might not have what you have overlooked is that there's also a cadre of players in the MLS, in Vietnam, in Malta, and those are really the B squad.
Yes, that's what I thought.
That's really the B squad.
So what we're going to do?
Those are players who are born in Jamaica who have excelled to a level where scouts and recruiters have decided that they are good enough to come out of the Jamaica local environment and play at a slightly higher to very higher level, right? So this is really our C squad. So this is the bottom-up development approach that you are saying, and I'm agreeing with it. If you were telling me that when we bring together the MLS players and the man them when they at various places in Europe together, we should have the whole of them with Mikel and two of them, I would agree.
I would go because one would have the potential to break into the national team. But
you have that level of exposure to professional rigors of professional football. So at that point,
let's see how this plays out. Let's see how this plays out. Recently, I had called for Dujuan Richards to be a part of the national setup. Be a fire JD bun for me and tell me say nothing for Gossa. He's not ready yet him to play this and to play that. I am just have a different mindset. Right now where we're at in terms of context, and in terms of who we are as Jamaican, and in terms of where we are in terms of world football, we can't be operating like we're Brazil, and we have a huge pool of Brazil have about 1 million players in the bro. So we can't sit down and say we are Brazil and go on like we have a huge pool of players to choose from, and we have this high quality, high level players when we only have one player who is local born who's playing in a top 5 league in the world. We can't be delusional, bro. And at this current stage, in context, the current stage that we're at the beginning. So at the beginning, the best way in my view for the long haul is to merge the best that the local have and put them against high level competition, which is the international players that we have, our elite players, and see where they're at. And when you hear someone say national team is not for development, and everywhere is development, bro. Everywhere is development. Club, academy, national team, everywhere. Everywhere is development. You have some players who are extremely good at national level when they're playing for the international teams. When them there, them club them are some big rocks. Them normal, them score 3 goals, 4 goals a season. But when you put them on the international level, them pop up and them do great things on the international level. And you have players who do the opposite, who are great players at club level, and when you put them on the international level, then can't score a goal when the goal right in front of them. So we know what it is.
And you have some players who don't score a goal at club level, like John Ayew, and a missed penalty. And when you put him to take the penalty in the World Cup, it miss it again because it just never ready fit.
But
so
Jamaica,
nobody mentioned John Ayew rocks. But anyway.
I had agree with this, what Mr. Hallgrimsson did, which is call up Jamaican players, I never cut out Dujuan Richards out of this, Remember, when we put, that's how you have to put it back into context. You beat me for putting in context. You have to put me back in context. I've always said Dujuan Richards could have been called up amongst these players. I never had any problem. I just said if you're calling a 40-man squad for the national team, like the national team with everybody, he would never make it for me. This is what I would put him in, so him show himself.
But this is exact. But JD, this is exactly what I was saying. I was saying to you that if we had any practice matches before, I think we should bring him in and let him see and let him put him up against some big man baller. You remember that is what I said, right?
Agree with this, but I tell you something, never go put it no other level because you have to do something in football to get to the other level. But
JD, what I was agreeing with, what I was saying to you, and this is what I'm keep on a bun my football, and I'm gonna make a bold prediction. Bet say the coach is something similar to what I propose.
All right.
Well,
but the real question you have not answered the question that was posed to you.
Pagan 1-8. We not pass the stage yet, We not pass the stage yet, my brother. We are talking about Jamaica, not France or Brazil or Netherlands.
JD, has not answered the question that the caller asked previously. What if when the coach look at the first team, Dujuan Richards is one of the first players cut?
But
that was what the caller asked.
So man, imagine 17-year-old boy, having work career in front time, man. That's how it go. You not got no problem with that.
That's where he's gonna get to the bold prediction. So let him continue. Continue, Mr.
No. So what I'm saying to you is that I as I said, I had called for Dujuan Richards to be a part of the Reggae Boyz senior setup. Me get beaten, conking on my head, me have coke on my head right now. With the JD conking on my head with the JD hammer, right?
I tell my
side tell me say a foolish me attack. We Dujuan Richards is now a part of the camp. The coach is looking at what I'm looking at in that we're at the beginning of our campaign and we have to be looking at players, assessing players, putting players in harsh environments and harsh competition to see how far they are in their development. And them have to rise to the occasion or flounder. That is it. Oh, you're gonna know how good a player is if you not play him. You can't know how good he is to play him.
We are waiting a bold prediction. No, we can't.
This what I said earlier on. My bold prediction is this. I think this coach, based on the little research that I've done, not a lot still, but I've done some research, and based on what I see this coach looking at, I am certain that based on the context, this coach is gonna do something similar to what I'm proposing. He's gonna have he's gonna try and build the team from far back as possible. With a lot of these local players mixed with these international players and see if he can if he keeps the job. But I'm not gonna lose so much along the way. I'm gonna draw a match, I'm gonna win some. We're not gonna win everything. But I think the coach is gonna take that approach, which is a long haul. He's gonna be looking at the long haul because our ultimate goal is not the Gold Cup, our ultimate goal is not the Nations League. Our ultimate goal is the World Cup. That is where we want to go. And I think the coach is going to focus on that and going to develop towards that. That's my prediction.
Jamaican good, and man, say the opposite, The man, say the goal is right now, I forgot out and try see if they can beat Mexico, for go in the semi-finals of the Nations League, because you can't reach so close and nobody go for it. That's what the man say, And they can jump the rank in one time in the Jamaican good, because Mexico rank 18,
I'm going to ask you a very honest question to both you, JD, and to Cataract. Do you think we can beat Mexico? Do any of you think we can beat Mexico?
I think
It's
you
hard.
have to beat
It's
Mexico.
very hard. It's very hard.
have
But
to beat
we
Mexico.
have a realistic shot to try. I don't believe them can beat them, but me nah go. Me I say if him try be defensive solid, he might can pull off a 1-0 victory. You know, it's gonna be tough. And what we just hear that they don't have any fans there, it might just eat Jamaica because them get banned for fans. You hear about it as well, Jamaica Guna? Because every day news are come out, them get foolishness to them are going with. So it's gonna be an empty stadium. So the atmosphere that we normally have, no, Tariq, nobody jump. Mexico not joke team, you know. If Mexico play anything I couldn't play in a World Cup, we not have a chance to beat them, you know. Me I tell you, you know. We not beat them. I mean, I think them come out and be very hard. We not beat them so easy. That's all me I tell you. Me agree with
Is it
Jamaica.
the same Mexico we just a month ago they World Cup?
Difference.
Or
Yes,
is that
man.
different Mexico?
The
Come
same
on, if one different Mexico, the man I talk about. You know.
No, but
I see him Costa Rica where the average age for Costa Rica 752, you know. And everybody else we got broke up Costa Rica. Jamaica have better players than Costa Rica, you know. Jamaica is a better team, had a better team in the World Cup qualifiers than Costa Rica, you know. Because remember, to them average age at 895. I saw the man them, that's the narrative, you know. So Costa Rica be an old players pandemic. Them they are World Cup and we never go nowhere. We are watch World Cup and CVM.
Yeah, but Jamaica
So,
gonna.
we talk about Mexico. We just come from World Cup, and we are talking about a different Mexico. Are they rebuilding as well, or what?
You're not rebuilding, but you have Hector Herrera and those guys coming out. You're gonna have 3 or 4 of them that are 35, 33 to 35, 33 to 36. They are going to be coming out, but they brought in some star players instant because one of the stars of the tournament is 24. So I don't think they are dropping off no standard. They have the same Luis Romo. They are still there. They are going to be the ones that performed in the Olympics and performed in the World Cup. They're going to still be there. So yes,
right. And I'm not saying we cannot beat. Football is a game of you know, you can have a bad day, you know, and another team have a good day, and a side who is less quality than you beat you. So I'm not saying it's impossible to beat Mexico in Mexico, but I'm saying it's going to be an uphill task. So that's why I'm asking you guys if you think we're gonna beat them. Would your prediction be Jamaica win versus Mexico?
No, I'm not predicting that, but I think it's a good.
What about you, Cataract?
So my view of it is that I think this is a part we didn't put in. The Nation League and the Gold Cup has significant prize money that is needed by the Jamaica Football Federation.
Very true.
It's to go into the pot of funds towards development.
That's true.
So I think a goal would be to win the Nation League or win the Gold Cup in order to get the million or the 2 million US to go in towards the funds that were to help develop and hold more local camps, have friendly internationals for the under 20, the under 17, the senior team. That is important. If you're asking me now, I will say to you, when we last played Mexico, we were not blown out in any of the 2 matches. I mean, hold on. Result-wise,
okay,
we were not blown out in any of the 2 matches.
We were better than Cataract. No, Cataract. The first game, we were
result-wise, it ended 2-1.
Cataract, look, Cataract. You have man literally missed the ball in front of the goal. So it really and truly.
What was the result?
2-1. Get away with that.
Good. And I said result-wise. Allow me to finish now.
So disingenuous, Cataract.
No. Allow me to finish. If you jump in there, you're not going to hear what I said. I said result-wise, we were not blown away by Mexico in the World Cup qualifiers the last 2 times we played them. In terms of performance-wise, our performance against Mexico in Jamaica was much better than what we had against Mexico in Mexico. And
Agreed.
You are now going to be disingenuous because that squad in Mexico was almost 95% local-based players with Anthony Grant and I think is who else was the other British player there?
I'm putting
right?
I'm putting it right
So
up. Say you don't have to worry. It's on the screen. It's on the screen. See it
so
here.
I think the key Andre Blake might have been Andre Blake was the keeper and Grant were the two,
Catara,
right?
before you continue, let me just read out the stats before because
Stats are gonna
Alex,
read it? Oh, okay,
Alex
go
says,
ahead,
Alex
Roman.
says Jamaica get chance to win that game. Brother, if you come here with a lie,
No
the
man,
Alex,
Jamaica
Jamaica not
got
get
one other
chance.
chance. We had one other chance.
You could have get into the game, brother. Just stop telling like Alex.
Oh
And me
no,
I talk to me have everything in a made,
no,
Me not sell them lies there, Me not
no,
sell them
but
lies.
you take out one man out of over 100 viewers.
Guys, I want you to look good. 27 shots in the game,
Oh God,
5 shots to Jamaica, 1 on target, 1 shot on target. Look at the big chances created in the game. 3 big chances, and all 3 big chances missed. And I'm talking empty goal right in front of the goal. So I have to give them their credit.
no,
We have
but
to
then,
give
no, but if you're going to do that, JD, pull up the squad because that's where now you're
no,
going to be disingenuous. That
no,
game, you almost have to write off that game because that was like a JP,
no,
a local squad.
Oh, Cataract, the game played, we have to give the man them their credit. Sometimes we have to start with respect the opponent before we jump towards we
No,
being overly great.
so when I said to you that score wise, we were not blown away, but performance wise, we would have been blown away. However, we have to take into consideration that this was at the height of the pandemic, where Mexico was a red flag state from England,
Yes,
and
yes.
we were not able to have any of
Thank you
our
very much.
elite players there, right?
Yes,
Mexico would have benefited because Mexico only had 2 elite players in England, right?
yes. And Adeyemi as well was not on the list as well. So, but he was from Spain. So I
Spain,
think
okay.
yes, Spain 3 elite players they lost in that little spell. Italy, England, and Spain. But it's okay. It's okay. We lost way more. That's true.
We lost way
I
more.
will
So
agree.
and the effect that our loss, because you said Guna said Mexico have over 500,000 or 100,000 players, they're losing 3 elite players is of lesser effect and impact than us losing the ability to incorporate 8 players. The other thing could be that we could have had our 8 players that would get 9-0 like how Panama they give it 3. So you don't know, right? What I'm saying is we can be competitive with Mexico, and we have been competitive with Mexico for the vast majority of games that we have played, whether Gold Cup, World Cup qualifiers in the last 5 years, right? We have had a chance to beat Mexico on Mexican side with Ryan Johnson and Joby. I think it's Joby McAnuff. They missed the open goal. So we have had a time when we missed the open goal too, and Mexico never create no whole heap of chance. So
Okay.
it will be a competitive match, Jamaica and Guna. But Mexico would be odds-on favorites to win. However, without the raucous and that 12-man support in a 100,000 seater stadium of the Azteca, and I've been in there and I know what it sound like and what it feel like. It's intimidating. For as far as you can look up in the sky, I see people. I see a sea of green. I look down by you. And the little 5 or 100 Jamaican were there. So if I was more about 200 I would have there. So it will look like a dot in the whole scheme of things. It is an intimidating place to play. You're playing at altitude. Everything is in Mexico's favor, but I think we are in with a chance. Let's go for it.
All right, because guys, we don't want to make it misconstrued. I just don't like when people come here. I don't like when people overhype Jamaica. I don't like it. Worst off in football
It's not
because
overhyping.
no. It's just. I was giving Mexico them credit. Remember, I'm a person that study all in football team. Yeah? And I don't like when it seems like we are overhyped Jamaica to say Jamaica is on the level of them. No, I think they are above us. But I agree with you that we have the players that we can give it the go. So I am telling you, I agreed with you at the start, but I had to come out and say, no, man, we can't this Mexico like that, man. Because if Mexico turn up and play like what they played in the World Cup, I think we have pretty much have a 10% chance to beat them, you know, because we just get a new coach. We have new players. We are trying to fit in things. It's going to be very hard. But as what someone said in the chat, maybe they are not going to take it so strong, so serious. Let's see what type of squad they're going to pick, because maybe they are going to get a different coach by then, and he has a different attitude towards it. So all I'm doing is just giving Mexico credit, and I don't know why Jamaican people start telling me that I need to go to Suriname, and anytime I don't say what they want, I need to go to space.
No, we're not telling you to go to Suriname. Nobody here on the panel is doing that. We are having a respectable time.
Boy,
We
Alex,
disagree on some things. We disagree on some things. We agree on other things, and we just want the best for Jamaica.
Me agree, and a Jamaican gonna not agree, and Jamaica gonna not get beaten. I am the one that always get Jamaican gonna. Me end up get the beaten, and you say Jamaica now win nothing.
There again, you say something I never say. Me never tell you that.
So then, you talk negative and me talk positive, and me get beaten.
Me never say nobody now win nothing, brother. Stop telling lie, no bad man.
Jesus.
Wait, hear me, Fred. Rewind. Pull up the video for one part of this and see if you say Jamaica now win nothing. Me ask your question is what do you think the results will be? And Sir Cataract answered and said it, and I said it is possible, and Sir Cataract said it is possible. And you basically say, you think it got because them have this and that play and this and that play. You never say you're more leaning towards the negative than the positive. So I don't know what you say.
Jesus. All right, Jamaica go now. You look a wicked ras.
No, if I like, ask fans them in the chat.
Jamaica go before you tell me.
Give me some fire if I that him say.
Them beat you, you know why them beat you? Because you tell me about development state Jamaica, you know, and why we want to win every
So
match.
development stage in my bro. I don't know, girl me a girl or garbage me a chat. A development stage in the beginning of our campaign this now. World Cup just done and we're gonna start back again to go again.
Yeah, put some respect on Jamaica name. Be positive. Me not be positive. Me say Jamaica can do something. But me said so. All right, guys, we have 176. Who you think going into this game as Mexico as the favorites? Just answer
Mexico. But that's not a question, JD. Come on.
That's why I said, are we talking about the Mexico we're just forward from the World Cup? We obviously are not the favorites. Obviously, that's really not even a question.
That's not a question.
It's obvious. Them there World Cup is a pinnacle of international football. Them there we never did it. That's it.
But that's all me saying.
Bro, if we're going up against Costa Rica is gonna be the favorites.
You know, an hypocrite, Alex. Now, obviously Mexico said they don't want to fight me for me. Not say nothing bad. Me gonna say the man me dominate with the last time we go to Mexico. That's all me say, you know. And not true, you know. Because Funa is more high. If he could have just scored a goal, he would have scored 7 goals in the game. So we stop act like we never give up the chances, them and that. But I understand what Cataract said. It was a weaker team. That is true. Because we have Anthony Grant in the team. Speed. Not saying Anthony Grant is a weaker player. No, don't get me wrong. I can't bother with the bunch of beating because I'm not. I have Anthony Grant in the team, Speed in the team, Romario Williams, Nicholson, Campbell, Corey Burke. Most of these guys never turn out to be our main players. You understand me? So that me says Funa is more as a trash. That me say my trash. That's what I said. He not good. He missed the chance then. But stop act like the man never missed the chance. Him literally on the goal line. People go back and watch the game. I am not a liar. I am telling you the truth. I get beaten for things when me attack. I know true. Why Jamaican people say so, man? My God, man, I'm tired, man. But anyways, all right. So Kimo says talk about Lambakisi starting. Kimo, go on our videos them and see every time Lambakisi plays.
He's talk about starting today.
But if he watches our videos, he would have known that we might be the only person talking about Lambakisi and all of these players once they start, but we put them in separate videos. So we don't mix the videos them. When you see Reggae Boyz abroad, that means we are talking about who played. Everybody, every Jamaican playing over abroad, we put them in that segment. That's what we do still, you know. No, Steph Curry, me never beat Jamaica at all. I'm me the one who pick up for Jamaica and Guna. I beat Jamaica and I talk about Jamaica and good and we're not gonna win. And we for just do development team. I don't know pick up for him. See me, you know what?
Brother, me never you keep and I misrepresent what me saying. Me never say nothing about Jamaica not gonna wear, brother. Did I just say that, bro? Stop do it, brother.
No, you tell me you stop pretty.
No, me never said Jamaica not gonna wear, brother. Oh, me if you say that, I'm just say we developing a team for the World Cup. Oh, me if you say that. When me say that, I'm JD.
Yes, I did. Yes, I come go.
Cataract war. You hear me say that out of my mouth? So Jamaica not gonna wear.
No, I did not hear you say that.
Cataract, you liar, Cataract. The man just
no, he said that it's not all about winning. He said it's not all about winning.
You're not gonna go like Jamaica, Brazil. Oh, mix this team.
Jamaica is not Brazil. We do not have the you see, listen to me, you move like you be a shaman, you build up in a brogy. Jamaica is not Brazil. We do not have the pool of players that they have.
But we could have a better pool of players than we do currently have.
Yeah,
so,
me say Jamaica gonna him love spin on and then get me.
No. This is YouTube, brother. We can't spin on anything where you say, man can pull back and listen what you say. And hear lie.
We're going down a road, you know. I would have loved to be able for us to assess the players, bro. Which is what Guna started. What Guna started doing said he was congratulating some players by being called up, etc.
We're going to go back to the players then. We're going to go back because we want to end the show before 3 hours. Guys, make sure to get the likes to 200 at least. Come on, stop disrespecting the program. All right? Because you can't find them programming with quality, war, education, everything. All right? One place. All right? Yeah, man. I'm the one Jamaican going to get to it. Because him can't say things here Jamaica like him are more Jamaican than me. And me can't say it.
Come in upon the ground. And you not talk Gronglish. If you not talk Gronglish, you can't be a Jamaican, brother. So can't talk Gronglish.
I can go back to live my life, you know.
Yeah.
But me want to challenge Jamaica Guna. The last part before we go to the player, Jamaica Guna.
Yeah.
The thing where you did that suggest is like a Sting did I try to bring a bag of new artists for the thing and I say, yo, yeah, they're gonna make a show. And they end up flap out the thing. Levels to the thing bad one. People will know the craft, know the stage craft, have the experience. You can't go around that. You understand?
All right. So we can counter that.
Don't be like Leg. And
so we can counter that.
Professor Grimm, don't be like Leg. Taste is part-time search. Taste is a tasties. Sting is Sting. Right. So just stay at the tasties camp where them have. The best star out of that. And Digital Rising Star. Yeah, man. And the best star right out of this. Yeah.
All right. So you see if Sting was a development, Sting was a development show and people forward there for the development, it would have been one of the better one them. But it is not. Sting is Brazil. Sting a high level show. So a big name brand show that. So henceforth, yeah. So if you let me give an example. Sting versus Sumfest. Or Sting versus Rebel Salute. When you go Rebel Salute and me as a Jezebel, you know. When me I go Rebel Salute, you know, I some red, gold, and green one put on and wear and tell my warrior them for watch some big Rasta flag, you know. Because you're going there for that. You know what you're going at. So as it relates to our football, we know we know what we're going at. We're at the beginning stage now of the campaign, so we have to know what we're going in for. So if Sting was a beginning artist, it was branded as the next generation of dancehall stars, it would have been different. If the show should name be next generation of dancehall stars, then everybody go there expecting the next generation of dancehall stars. Go there expecting not everybody to be performing at their best. So we're at that level now where we can't not reach our World Cup yet. We're not on World Cup side yet. So we're at the beginning stage now. So if you're at the beginning stage, people will expect you to begin. But if you're at the end stage or the final stage, I mean, every year, every 4 years, we don't have no chemistry. We reach at the final stage. We have some very good players who can call in locally and from the diaspora. The whole of them forward in our last minute, and then we want to go World Cup. And every other side I prepare for 3 years, and we want to prepare for one year and go World Cup. That is what I try. Hopefully, with you, I'm trying to. I don't want to see that happening.
And so
I
say
have no
all of
say
us.
in whether it happen or not, but I just stop. Me no want that happen. Every 4 years it happen, bro. We wait for last minute. We call in the big ball of them. And some of the big ball of them are opportunistic, obviously, because that's what they do for a living. So they want opportunities. They want things to go on their CV to make their CV look better. So when they're international player, look better. So some man are wait for the last minute when them realize say, oh yo, the campaign start now. Them want to play against some big baller. Because when they hear some man brag, them and say, yo, man, I play against a man what day, and the height of my career is to play against Messi one time, and I play against Messi for Jamaica and way. So you know what I mean? So more some of the ball of them forwarding from Shirley out and Lamberkeese, for instance, them young baller there forwarding from early out, to cap them from early out, get them that program, and we'll build a program around these young ballers. So by the time 3 years forward, them ballers know one another. If 60, 70 of them, we know we have a system I play. The whole of them know one left back drop out, him injured, whatever, another man forwarding, one other man drop off a farm, another man can forward in. They're playing the same system because these players have played together before. And then a new person we are forwarding where new people are gonna come in, obviously. But me talk about, and we don't want a bulk of new man forwarding. We don't know what go on the ground. I don't know which system we are play. Don't know the coach, don't know the players. Nobody don't know nobody. I will just run out on the stage, put 11-star man out on the stage and say, yo, it's work. No. More and the man them know say, all right. The man them that play and them know one another. Know so this man I like the ball and I hear this man I like the ball on the ground, and the man them know one another from Shirley out. That means by the time the World Cup forward around, every man kind of know each other and have a little chemistry. And even if as me say a person is not a part of the active squad, they understand the system that is being played because they were there at some point during the development stage. That is it.
Okay, all right.
Nobody can have no problem with that.
Because
So
we're on
this
the last leg.
team, I
Sorry,
think we have to support the team. Oh, sorry.
Hold on. And we're on the last leg, guys. Please do smash a like on the share. We should not be asking for 200 like we did 2-3 hours program. We think that the show should reflect the likes. All right, so take your time and smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe. We're trying to aim back to 20,100, but we're far from it. So get us to 4,000 or 5,000 very fast. If you can, tell a friend that they should resubscribe to the big bad channel Imaxit. Yes, we give you a football overall. Yes, and from time to time, as you can see, the occasional laugh, yes. So anyways, what we want to get into now, this list, because we started it with this list, all right, and under 17, because under 17 is important as well. So this list now, who you expect of this list, the coach to look at and said, okay, we can develop them, because I truly believe that this is just a looking at, I don't even think it's gonna be mainly them being developed. Other people can come out of the blue and then become the developed personnels, but that's just my take still. But I will hear what the other says,
I think it'd be a bit unfair to the coach. What I think is that this is a good process in. They might be. There's only one player on there that concerns me. Only one.
Okay.
Right? And that would be JD White. I cannot, aka cement boots. Right?
But catch right, they said he played 8 games out of 10 this time. Because the other coach, the other keeper went. So you can't find
the man then did have JD White in the United States for nearly a month. Like, the lovely young lady stand up out the back road. Every car drive past. Not one no stop and put on the window. No get no work. It was embarrassing. And that's in the USL. Up on Ripon Road. It never looked pretty. And so that would be the only player that and I don't see what it was. He saved 2 penalties and all of a sudden he was called up into the squad and disposed of Dennis Taylor. I understand Dennis Taylor is no longer playing football, might have gotten mental mash up in meds. And Dennis Taylor played a good game against Serbia. To this day, no one has explained to us what. And I was looking at the general secretary report because they want to see that technical partner to understand how come Dennis Taylor they come out of the squad after playing so well against Serbia in a 1-1 draw and never again to make back Jamaica team. And a man who scored saved 2 penalties, all of a sudden that meant that you could come in there. So that's the only player. Apart from that, everybody else, God bless you, know. Stay injury free, impress the coach, do the best, make it difficult to get dropped. You know, because we all want the best. Try to learn and absorb as much as possible and put out the best effort. For me, I think that the player that I think that will shine out of here would be Joshan Angley.
Anglin, okay.
I think Joshan Angley will shine. It's in an era where there's clearly some lack of depth in the national squad. I know we are pinning our hopes on Isaac Hayden, the coming on board. My understanding is that Lewis Baker is I don't know what is not looking likely. So if Isaac Hayden comes, we're still looking a partner for him. Defensive pivot for him. The coach is clearly not happy with the likes of Kevin Lambert and some other players who have gotten their chance, because Kevin Lambert was there in the Argentina game. And when we would have thought we'd have wanted to shut down the Argentina game and not lose 3-0, he didn't bring on a defensive midfielder. He made some other changes to the game. So that's the player that I think will rise there. Obviously, Richard King is been a part of the Jamaica's senior team squad, and so
yeah, but this obviously, no, but Cataract, you can't say that, because why they call him back into this? That simply means he can't.
No, man, no. I'm saying to you that obviously the likes of Richard King and Jamoy Topi, who were part of the Cameroon squad, which was under the auspices of the coach, he would have had a chance to see them. So I think those would move forward as part of the seasoned senior players who have been in and around the senior team for the last year, right? I don't expect them to be dropped out of this. I expect them to move forward. So I'm saying that of the newer faces, I would think Joshan Anglin is the one that I would think would jump to mind. Obviously, everybody is looking to see what happens with Dujuan Whisper, Richards, because he's seeming in some places to be the new Walter Boyd, that very polarizing figure. So he may be the Walter Boyd of 2026. And I wish the young man well. I hope he impresses and he gets a chance to make the cut, because I don't think it's feasible. Even a 32-man squad, I still think a squad like about 30-man squad is what they would be aiming at, because there's a limited number of spaces, rooms up there, up at the Horace Burrell Center.
So the man I'm living in man can go back in my yard, brother.
No, man. When you call the players them into a camp, man, don't go back at them yard. Nowhere in the world. You love to talk about anywhere in the world. You're in the thing there. I am. Somebody can remind me. I think 30 is the maximum that yeah, there's a limited thing, and I know they have to share a room up there and them start or something there. So a man can make know if they remember what's the size of the room up there. But I see two. Malachi Douglas is there coming up from the under 20 team. We have spoken about the fact that players need to transition into the senior team. I know some people have been vocal about Romain Blake at Waterhouse. But right now, I'm going to take the coach a look for the midget centre back. And Romain Blake is going to have to redefine himself.
It's about football. It's about football education. So why are you talking about midget? Yeah, I saw him play better football
centre
than
back.
That's all.
But what you're able to do in the JPL and in schoolboy football is going to be completely different than what you can do at international level.
Well, he did it at
qualifiers.
In the CCC. So no, he did it in under 20s and did it in CCC.
No, he was not. No, he was not one of the better players in the under 20. Please.
What he said?
He was playing right back. He was
Blake
playing.
Blake was what? Not one of the better players. Cataract.
Blake ended up playing right back.
Blake was playing centre back, brother.
Brother, in the last look back at a crucial goal we scored. It was Blake's mistake when we got knocked out.
Blake was one of the players in under 20s category. He was better than all the other Jamaicans. Every single damn one of them. Except Malachi Douglas.
Malachi Douglas. And he played well in the first game, and it's inexplicable why he was never seen again. But if you were saying to me that he did better than the centre back pairing was Badly Morgan and yes, and the other youth from the right side, it was a youth from in the MLS.
No man,
in the US.
They spun them around. Blake was always there. One night time they tried to push up even Blake up the pitch, and they dropped down. They took off man and put in Pearson down the pitch as well. So it was always a rotation. So Blake was one of the main players. That man, even
Blake was playing because Jimenez was struggling at right back.
Yes, and he covered for him and make some ridiculous tackles. So I don't know why you think he was not good. You know what? The man short cataract. I don't know why you have to do it short. You tall?
Send the back. I don't know. I am 6 foot tall, brother. No, yeah, said that bad man.
6 foot is
no
tall.
Way I say. What is 6 foot is tall?
His average height don't.
Average height
so,
who?
We, the one are we, 6 foot average height. So
we're about a 5'5" defender.
Jesus. And the guy is like 5'9", you know, he's not so short, you know. He's not 5'5" cataract, he's like 5'9". So
he has to reinvent himself. He has to either develop into
we're coming to
he has to develop into a CDM or a right back to be international.
Okay then, all right. Let me just take the call and then we can finish up and done. So good day, Big Boss. How you doing, man?
Yeah, man. I just quick saying based on where Cataract. I disagree with him because I see that you, to be honest, I see you prove so much. I see him do it in a under 20s. I see him do it in a Manning Cup. And last night when I watched the EFL match against Waterhouse against Tivoli, even though them lose, him was like one of the best players. The man literally the same way how him play in a Schoolboy, I saw him play in the JPL. The man read the game. Cataract need for what? Look for Martinez. Look how Martinez can read the game. The man IQ JD is the man IQ is very high. So Cataract just need to give the youth some respect. We think him can make it based on him IQ. The man read the game and me see big man can't pass him. When I always say prove in a JPL, me see big man last night can't pass the man. The man make so much tackle for Waterhouse. I believe that if him never left on the field, Waterhouse could have conceded more. Because the man make some great interception and Cataract need to respect the youth. And I'm surprised saying no the panelists. I'm really surprised.
Believe me, Marty, believe me, Big Boss. I am telling you, I just really don't want to be controversial because I would have taken out people of the list and put in Blake. May I tell you, Blake is a talented youth, you know, but true, I don't want to be controversial.
You don't take off whisper. Just say it, no man.
No, I would take No. Controversial, but I would take off other players and put on Blake on it. Blake played at higher level than Madrid. JD. No, but surprise, you're not. I'm not. You're trying to put one name to be extra controversial, but I'm saying no because I could have said I would have taken off King and put on him. You know, but I never wanted to go with that. I never wanted to go because I think King is a good baller. But I could talk about the guy plays at high level and never looked bad cataract. All the levels that I saw him at, the guy proved that he has talent. Obviously, he's not the tallest, but he's gonna learn and he's learning. You get me? So I don't know why you have this hatred of
JD, the man IQ high, JD. The man really the game good. Yeah, really can't find a Jamaican baller where have an IQ like that you think. Me tell you the man, me see him watch it last night. I go start watching JPL back.
So Cataract, if people are complaining, I tell you, Martin, 1 second. People tell you same I do so good in every tournament. So why you have this? No, Tarek never call any names. So don't spin a narrative. A Cataract, I try use that to get out of the beat the way I get no for.
Yeah, big up, Wakala. Look,
big up, man.
We have difference of opinion.
Beat you with the yeah, man, boy, my try
difference of opinion, right? And I'm saying to you have something called the intangibles, right? When people are looking for international, I remember we had a keeper. Oh God, what was the name of that keeper who was in the army? He ended up going in the army. Who was in the under 20 or the Alan Whitaker. And everybody kept fooling Alan Whitaker. He was a good shot stopper and he went to the World Cup. And it really messed up the youth because at the end of the day, you couldn't go to any other level because there are just certain intangibles, what them call the intangibles. When the man them start tick off, you would have to be an elite centre back at 5'10" to operate anywhere in the world.
He's 5'8". Sorry, I got off 2 inches. I said 5'9", but he's 5'8".
At age 18, you have to be elite. Now you have 5'8" and 5'7" right backs, which is what I'm suggesting that with his skill set that he has, he might want to reinvent himself as a right back or as a CDM in order to get a better chance at an international career. Yeah, I run some joke with the word midget and them something there. But if I thought the man was a rocks, I just say my rocks. He's not good. Like when I think JD White is a good player, he's not a good keeper. Period.
And we have
but
proof
I don't
to
think the
this man has played well
cannot
in
be said for Romain Blake. I think he has to reinvent himself in a different position. He might even be a number 10 or something, but just go and tell a man that you are going to be a 5'8". You look in the world and you love research. Show me how many 5'8" centre backs you have in any top league in Belgium.
All right, sir. I understand where you're coming from.
No, he's 18 now or he was one of the younger players.
So we have Mark Alan on the phone because we're trying to take as much call. And from Mark Alan, come on, is a problem. So Mark Alan, who you be beat now with the fire belt? Is it Cataract?
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, boss.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to your panelists, Jamaica Gona, and of course, Mr. Blake. I'm not beating anybody. I'm really trying to approach a football from a critical standpoint. After I've given my piece, if you disagree, that's all right. I think Cataract do have a point, and I don't think Cataract is taking anything from the young man. What Cataract is saying is at a disadvantage because of his height. So I don't think Cataract was bashing his technical abilities. And if I heard incorrectly,
no, you're correct. You're correct.
So I don't think he was bashing him to say that he cannot play. I don't think what he is saying, when you have a 5'8" or a 5'5" defender going up against a 6 feet or 6'1", 6'2" striker, it always naturally is going to pose a challenge. So what Cataract is saying is he would stand a better chance if he plays right back and CDM, because that's where we really need help in Jamaica.
I understand Mark Alan, but Mark Alan, because we have physical proof at our level when he goes up against 6 foot odd strikers, he tend to still found a way out because you have different metrics how you play football. We spy 6 foot. We spy 6 foot odd in the Manning Cup, and in the under 20s he went up against 6 foot strikers as well. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna give you the name for everyone. Can you ask me a question? I'm gonna tell you. I'm see the youth deal with them. In Whisper have around 13 challenges he tried to pass the player, and the play it's only one time Whisper half pass him and strike the ball. Every one of them he figure out a way with his partner them to take the ball from Whisper. So that is one proof that he figures a way out not to go in aerial challenges, but figure to get it underground and outsmart you to get the ball from you. So maybe
it could be a proof that the striker not good.
Oh no, but he did it in under 20s as well. So stop.
I'm saying to you in the under 20, and I'm being facetious, and I'm saying to you in the under 20, go back and look at a crucial goal that was scored, which was as a result of his lack of aerial vertical ability. It cost us a game. It cost us a goal.
Yeah, Cataract have his point, but I'm just trying to show you that we saw that
we need right back. Jamaica need right back.
JD, I understand. I don't have long on the phone. I understand both points. You made a solid point. Cataract made a solid point. But when I'm looking at the longevity of it, JD, over a period of time, I mean, Whisper was just one player. So to be objective really to the conversation, JD, I'm not saying that this guy cannot play football. I'm just saying JD, we can get more from him because we realize that he can go down the wing, he can square the ball, he can control the football. So I think if he's still young, and this is the time when you really transition from making it into what you really want to make it. So I think John Cataract basically saying the same thing, but Cataract is saying that he will make it. I will be at an advantage if he exploit being a right back as opposed to being a centre back. That's what I got from the discussion.
Yes,
and I don't see any.
I got that, but I'm trying to challenge him because I saw the guy played at the highest level than anybody on this list, at all levels, and I saw him.
No, that is not true.
No,
I'm going to challenge you because hold on, because Richard King has played.
No, Richard King
played in
Richard King never go further in the. I'm talking about club. I'm never talking about the direct national team. I'm talking about the club. He went further than Richard King with Waterhouse. Richard King got battered in the CCCC. He went on to the CONCACAF, and we saw him played quality strikers, and he held his own. So all I'm saying is, we saw him try to cancel out that height problem. We know it is a problem from the start, and I agree with Mark Allen. But if that's where he believes he can play Mark Allen, what we are going to do then? Tell him and say he can't play time short?
No, we can't. That's not. I mean,
that's the question we're going to ask.
No, that would never be a reason. But we also, as football analysts and football pundits, we also have to be objective with the sport. We can't just say because he has done it against one player to say he will do it against.
No, he never did it, Mark Allen. That's what the lie. That's what I'm clearing up. I'm telling you, he did it in the under-20s against big players, and did it in the CCCC, which is a big man league, further than even where Cavaliers went. He did it in 2 different leagues. 3 different leagues, apart from the Manning Cup and Whisper, and way better players than Whisper, bigger man than Whisper. That's moving on to different competition. He did held his own in a team that got 6 love, and he still held his own. You understand me? I was watching the game and breaking it down. That's all I'm saying.
But not going to detain us on the argument. So you are saying that we should look forward in the next 3 to 4 years to see Romain Blake in an elite league. And I'm telling you, not even MLS or USL are going to take a forward. Are going to take a centre back at 5'8", 5'9".
All right. Okay, all right. All I'm just saying, the player at this point, guys, he had showed some promises that other Jamaican players did not show, even on this list. That's all I'm saying. So we need to show him respect. You know, that's all.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from the youth, but we also need to understand potential never done it.
Yes, that is true.
Potential has never been done. So I'm saying, JD, at the end of the day, you have to do it more consistently. And for me, I prefer. For me, this is for me. I prefer height over a shorter defender. Because for me, whereas he would have to jump at a certain height, Richard King probably stand and can do that. That's just me. And this is not to say that he's better than Richard King or to make a comparison. I'm just saying, most coaches these days, keeper goalkeepers, if you're short, are you good? The man who isn't as good as you, but he's tall, may have a better chance than you, JD. That's where the sport is. I'm telling you.
All right, then fair enough. Advocate said JD, but JD, same way like you defend Blake, you should defend the Whisper talent just the same. You hear what I meant? The reason why I'm defending him, if I had seen him only in the Manning Cup, I wouldn't defend him so much. I would say maybe we have to wait. But I only saw which Whisper in the Manning Cup. I saw this guy played other official top tier leagues. So that's why we can say we can put some other addition. Whisper not have his CV, so that's why we only can go out. He might still not reach the way, don't get me wrong, but I am just saying that what I saw from him now as a kid, it's possible that he can go places if he puts his mind to things. He looks like one of the better Jamaican players, period, right throughout youth, big players, everybody. He looks already like one of those players. That's all I'm saying at all levels. But once Whisper plays and do his thing, we are going to give Whisper his credit. But Whisper has done nothing for me to come and tell you that he's in the same park as what we saw Blake them doing different competitions. Once he can go in all of those competitions, of course we're going to be here beating the drum for Whisper to go forward and say Whisper are definitely the best player. But we're only talking about Blake at this point because of that. Sorry about that. Finish Mark Allen. Sorry, I just had to answer that comment.
So just ask a few questions just to understand what you're saying. So you're saying that if you were to pick one era of his game to be improved, what would that be? Do you think there's any part of his game that needs to be improved?
No, all of his game need to improve. But at the level that he's at now, his reading of the game is very good. His position of the game is good enough to help him facilitate his deficiencies. It help him to get to kind of over like cancel out his height, because he reads the ball, the game good, put himself in a position that it doesn't have to turn out to be always a height challenge. You understand me? Yes. So I would say that obviously he needs to improve to get to the next level. But definitely what we're seeing at this point, he has some skill set that are overbuilt, which is his position and his reading of the game fully, and the awareness of where the ball is going to drop. So he doesn't necessarily need to always be in these aerial battles. The reason why in Damian Lowe and them man in aerial battles, why you think that? Look how tall Damian Lowe is. So then why he's always fighting and losing to the tiny man them? Let we whole conversation. How much tiny man is he jump over the MLO head? Markalan and Cataract. So let we stop being hypocritical now. How much tiny man is he jump over?
Here we go. I'm tell you something. End the discussion because you have made your point, and I will look. I hopefully I'm alive and you are alive, and well, you like it to be alive because you're there in Belgium. People are slap away left, right, and center now. Yeah. But hopefully shot then I catch up to me. I'm alive 3 years time and we can see Blake playing for Real Madrid.
You never said no good boy. I said Blake did it
why Blake we are talking about what JD, a man just said to me, say, if at right back the ball can go over him head and beat him in the ear. If the ball beats you in the ear as a right back, the ball go out for a throw. That's why many right backs and left backs are short. Because height is not so much of a prerequisite at right and left back. Because what you're looking for is speed and to be able to cover. As a matter of fact, when you're at right back, you don't really see many 6 foot right backs and left backs. Because that's not where they end up in the game. You look at who's available to Jamaica. Your Max Aarons, the man are 5'10", 5'9", 5'8". Tyree Mitchell and those they excel in ground jewels at that level.
I watched the game, Ian, and Blake was one of the better Jamaican players than Ian. Come on. I can always tell that the English player them play well, but come on, man. Let me give a Jamaican player credit, man. The guy did good things. Malachi Douglas played well, and him played well as Jamaicans. They did play well, man.
I'm saying he was responsible for a critical goal.
No, Ian say he never played well. That is not true. That is not true. He played well. He was one of the players that actually played well.
There were a lot more players that play worse than him, but.
Yeah, we can't just say him never play well. No, that's not true, man. Me nah go, you know what? I'm not gonna be the defender of Blake, and I'm kind of done with this conversation. Kind of done. I'm not in any fight with anybody. Finish your point, Markalan. I'm kind of done. 3.5 4 million. I fight with people.
That's why we want to move on.
Jamaica and the whole of way a so-called Jamaican I fight against the youth then. And then me I defend them and me I get beaten. So me done here, man. Me can't bother. No, me can't bother, yeah, man. Me can't bother.
For me, I want to see the best Jamaican players play, whether them based Europe or them based Jamaica, whether them based ML, wherever they are. I just want the best Jamaicans to play at all, not just sometimes. But for me, what I'm taking from this discussion, and if you're not saying this, JD, then we all have to look back and reanalyze what we are saying. Based on ideally, tall players play centre back. Ideally, the shorter players them play on the wing. I was saying that Romain Blake, based on what you have seen, is an exceptional player. He is the odd player that, regardless of his deficiencies, is his height, because it's a deficiency, unfortunately. Are we saying that he's able to do great exploit as a centre back as opposed to a right back or a CDM? That's what we're saying.
It all comes down to where the player believe him can play. You can't force someone to be a right back if him
No. Whoa. So player tell you where them play, and a coach put player for play in a position.
No, a player tell you where them can play. If them say
if a coach says to you, come in the team and play in that position. It's the technical, what you call it, the technical director of football that look around the world and say, I see you playing centre forward, but you know, so you would be a good.
And him same can't play.
Then you know come on my club.
So them running away from the team. Then if him can't, him no want to play no else.
And I just want to say, I don't know who is humble one media, but I don't want a man because I don't do for try create some vibe between Cataract and the player them. But I don't want the man in the team. I just said to you that he should have been in the call-up, but I can understand that the coach might not be looking for a short centre-back. And as a matter of fact, you have already had Richard King, who is not the tallest of centre-backs.
Richard King? Richard King, a short brother? What you talking about?
Richard King is not the tallest of centre-backs.
Richard King are one of the tallest centre-backs then. What are you talking about? Richard King around 6'3". How tall is Richard King? Richard King is 6'2" or 6'2".
Go look it up.
Let me get Richard King. I become see Richard King beside Ethan Pinnock. He looks tall to me. He looks like they're around 6'2" or 6'1" minimum. Guys, let me know Richard King's height because Richard King is not under 6 foot. He's not under 6 foot. He's tall. Okay, King is 6'3" at least. That's me think.
We just look it up for facts, man. I don't have the fact. I'm just saying. I said he's not the tallest. But there you go.
Saw him. He was one of the tallest. I saw him, and he was one of the tallest. Him tall, Ethan Pinnock, them little bit taller than Richard King. Me see the two of them take a picture.
He's shorter than Damian.
Richard King is tall.
He's shorter than
I ball about my height. I'm about 6'2".
He's shorter. Hold on. Here we're gonna Richard King there about 1.88 meters. Damian Lewis 1.91.
No, me never correct.
Jamaica Tope is 2.03. Right?
So catch up, me not correct. Me 6 foot.
Tope taller than me. So Tope are 6 foot, above 6'2" or 3.
Hold on. We just look. Hold on. I could just get the side, man. Damian Lewis 6'3". Jamaica Tope is 6'6". Where are we this out? We don't have a beat up fight now where this team was.
Yeah, but catch out the
Concacaf Nation League.
The time is a 6'2" short now.
Hold on, man. Oh, the almighty. I said not the tallest. I did not use the word short.
Him one of the
so if he's not the tallest, what would you call the tallest?
6'6".
No, man, the tallest is
9'8".
No, brother, just go easy. He's the shortest of the central defenders.
He's the
shortest of the central defenders that we had.
Out of the four giants.
I never used the word short, not at all. When JD didn't do it to you a while ago, you never like it though. You come defend him. I'm gonna misrepresent what I said.
Okay, he's the shortest out of the four giants, but 6'2" is not short at all. And Mariappa shorter than him. Mariappa are shorter. So you have to put
shorter. But Mariappa, we have accepted Mariappa.
6'2" you're taller than 90% of people on earth.
Taller than 90% of the central defenders in the world.
No, that's not true.
People.
People each other.
Why can't I find Richard King idea? Why they never have him in the nation?
We see the man in picture. He look shorter. Pinnock is taller than him, and Pinnock around 6'4". So I look so shorter than Pinnock. So me know him I did over 6'2".
Damian Lewis 6'3" and he's shorter than Damian Lewis. So maybe
no, when we see the two of them together, the two of them are almost the same height. So if he must 6'2" plus, he must 6'2" plus.
6'1". 6'1".
Me are 185 and them say me are over 6 foot. So me know I almost 6 foot 1.
6'1". Yeah.
So be 6'1" and he must 1.88 m. That taller that.
In the thing there is 6'1.6". So 6'1.5".
Oh God.
6'1.5" ish.
I can't believe I this your fight.
Yeah, but JD, me see the youth already. Me a 6'2" and him stand side of me and him talk.
Me never use the word short Jamaican go now. Me say to
No,
the
me never
man,
said about short a while ago, bro.
me say the man is not the tallest.
You say it's not that tall. You say it's not. He's not the tallest.
I said not the tallest.
Yeah, you say he's not the tallest.
I'm on court, man. Relax, man.
Which is suggesting that he's not the tallest of our centre backs available.
Finish up your point.
That's what I'm saying. I'm the centre backs. I say he has Richard King, who's not the tallest of our centre backs, right? So if you put that there, then that can tell us that for him to be looking, we are phasing out of the Mariappa thing because Mariappa has been caught out, and even though Mariappa has a huge vertical leap, as age has come upon him now, it become harder and harder. Look how many crosses coming to the box that kill us. That is what has killed Jamaica, crosses into the box, true or false. In the Gold Cup, in the World Cup, cross coming from the right-hand side, we get knocked out. And I think the coach might be trying to deal with that matter by looking for...
Yeah, traditionally, we have had a weakness with crosses.
Right.
Traditionally.
So you're going to be looking for your tallest centre-backs to address that matter.
But even if Blake isn't calling as a centre back, though, bro, he should be a part of the squad and even utilize him at right back.
And that is what I said. And I said is the only one player who I think would be felt hard done by, would be Romain Blake, because I started saying we're looking at the transition of the under-20s coming up. Malachi Douglas has come in. And I said Romain Blake would be felt hard done by, but I don't think the coach will be looking for any short centre-backs at the time. Let me be respectful. And Blake's best chance is if at the club level let him start seeing him as a right-back.
Yeah, but we have many players who have started out. Sergio Ramos started out as a right-back and moved into centre-half. So we can have players started at one position and move out to another position. It's not like it's concrete as yet. We see Leon Bailey, who started out as a winger. He has played left back. He's now being utilized as a striker at Aston Villa. So we can't just stop the players them like that. So and he's young. So I think you have an interesting point in Shandena squad and merit alone.
Before let me bring the caller so we can finish up with the caller. Markalan, finish up your point, Markalan, because we have a very good point coming in from the comment section saying that we have tall players, but yet still we can't deal with crosses. So I want to get more shorter players that are much more agile and get the ball faster. Maybe it would turn out better because the other teams that we're playing was not tall defenders. They were not tall defenders and they dealt with our crosses. So what about
true.
that?
You remember we were watching the match. We were having the watch along, JD. You remember the watch along? Our magic score header between two tall man with tall line by 5-5. You remember?
But one of those tall men was Adrian Mariappa.
I think it was Suriname we were playing, innit? And the shot man just sliding between the man knock on and the wall with that So yeah, it happens.
We play against Costa Rica and Brian Ruiz score.
We can talk every team where we play. And it's just Suriname alone. Just name any team, and that happened to Jamaican tall defenders. So I don't know where their tall argument are covered. Let me bring in Markalan, make him finish his point. Markalan, finish your point, brother.
I am not trying to bring a conversation here.
You brought it here already.
I'm still saying, no, man. You see, context is important in the JD. I'm saying, whether the player is tall or short, ideally, whether we want to accept it or not, Javier Brown started out as a centre back, brother.
And he's playing centre back now. Same way.
Javier Brown, they play right back.
He plays centre back at his club in a 3. So, yeah.
Okay.
But continue, yeah.
Yeah, so what me I say, ideally, JD, even the general comment, I'm not saying I'm not getting into the straw man type of reasoning to say, boy, we have tall defenders and whatever. We need good defenders. That's all I'm saying. But I'm saying, based on what I've seen in Romain Blake, not only that he can be just a defender, he can be a good right back based on what I saw. In a few of the under 20 games that I saw, Romain Blake was playing right back, and he did well.
Okay, all right, and respect Big Boss, all right? Because we're going to the closing half of the show, sir. All right, so we'll link up back the next one. Call in earlier, join the program earlier. Okay, Big Boss?
Yeah, man.
Yes, that's a great Mark Alan from Italy. So the show is global. So thank Dan Youth for the super chat. Massive respect for everyone that hit the like button. Put super chat. No, people. I wanna do the show. So 3.5 hours gone. I wanna see the super chat. We'll get 3 more super chat before the show done. Anyways, we have Jason. Jason wanted to say something, so don't know what Jason's saying. So Jason, what's up with you now, big boss? What are you doing?
Yeah, well, go on, everybody in the chat, big up. Everybody on the panel, big up. I think we have to start to watch and see what's going on in world football. I think the days of the 6'5", 6'6", 6'4" prototype centre back, there has been a change in the last 5 years from that, and you can kind of see that there's a lot more emphasis on a defender's ability to play out from the back. Now, it is really easy at face value to look at 2 players that play centre back and say this one must be better because he's 6'5", and this one is 5'8". But like JD was saying, and I have said before, you cannot have that argument and then look at the goals that we concede in matches, because we're not conceding these goals to Erling Haaland and Zlatan. We're conceding them to some jockeys. So my question is, we have seen that we always have the prototypical sizes for each position in our team. We always want our centre-back pairing to be over 6 foot. We always want a big target striker. We want our CDM to be tackling. I think that
the tackle is a high now.
Where football is evolving towards, and stops thinking so one-track minded. Because from what I have seen, Romain Blake has the quality to play at any level as a centre-back. And the reason why I say that is because of the player's ability to read the game. So if you have a player that is 6'5" and doesn't understand what the opponent is going to do next, he's going to be out of position to win any headers anyway. So we need to put more stock in the mental capacity of the players and not pay so much attention to the physical attribute of the player.
Yeah, the big
That's my 2 cents on the whole Romain Blake argument.
All right.
We cannot just look at him and say he can't play the position. Let's actually analyze his play in the position. And just to clear up something else, everyone assumes because he's short, he can play right back or play CDM. I've never seen the young man play right back. The times when he was on the flank for Jamaica's under-20, that was in a back 5. And he may have been out on the right-hand side covering the right position.
A back 5 is a right wing back. A back 5 is a right
wing back. Cataract, right wing back and right back is not the same position.
Yeah, 2 different positions based on the formation. Carla, I add something to what you say as well. My argument is not that he cannot play there. I'm looking at the squad and seeing where we have more strength and where more weaknesses. And I think for him to get more game time and it will be easier for him to get in the squad as a right back than it is to get in the squad as a centre back. That is my argument. Because we have a weakness at right back where we need right back in our side. We need right back that can defend, and can overlap and can read the game, as I said a while ago. So for him to get in the squad, I think it would be a better option to pull him in the squad and play him at right back, because that is where we're most lacking as it relates to the national team. But we have a lot of centre backs, and I think we're going to recruit some more too. So that is my argument.
No, but the discussion, and that is why.
We have 8 more minutes.
Sorry, I don't think you listen to what I said. He's not in the squad. He's not in this developmental squad. He's not in the squad. And I was saying that if his best chance of catching the eye of the coach is to redefine himself as a right back, where we have, because I don't think the coach is looking for short defense centre backs. Okay. So listen to a whole sentence. I am not discrediting what the youth is doing in the JPL, and I'm simply saying to you, what you're doing at JPL, if he is this mercurial generational talent that's going to be
nobody ever said that.
Oh, I am saying it. I said, if he is going to be this mercurial generational talent that is going to redefine the centre back position worldwide and be the new 5'8" centre back that the world is looking at, then God bless him, God go with him. But centre backs around the world that people are buying, the Rudigers, they are moving for big money. Van Dijk, Lisandro Martinez is one. So you're looking at the exception and trying to say that it's the rule. Around the world, people are buying because you have to combat the aerial strength. And I wish for the day that Jamaica plays Norway and we see Romain Blake against Holland.
You know what? Let me just leave it there, guys. Guys, we're gonna play right here. We have reached 3 hours 24 minutes. Thanks everyone that came here to participate. This dude, he likes to argue. So let's leave it right here, guys.
I like
this has been another beautiful one.
So JD, I want to ask a question. Is the training camp open? Can we go legitimately and go see it without having to bother? I'm asking you to ask that question. Because I want us to be there tomorrow. Go if we can go.
Cataract, we're done. We will find that out after. People, it should
no, JD. Everybody can go, but Cataract is banned.
Okay, all right. So everybody can go, but Cataract is banned. All right. Yes.
Nice.
I don't know all that, but I'm not gonna get into it, guys. We have spent enough time. We're not gonna play with your likes and views. We'll take our time and usher ourselves out the category. I want to take on yourself, take care of you guys self until tomorrow. We'll get in enough information on what took place. All right. Yeah, man. So peace out, guys. Thanks yet again for another successful one. Peace out. Thanks, Cataract. Thanks, Jamaican Guna. Brian, Mighty, all of the call, Jason, Guna, everybody. Massive respect. Take care. Peace out.